Welcome to the Seat Unique Stadium for El Sideco, Gloucestershire versus Somerset. It's building nicely, the crowds are pouring in. Ian Randall.
7,000 here tonight, more than 7,000 here tonight in fact, for a game which Gloucestershire haven't won here since 2020. 5 in a row up to that date, but Somerset have won on the last 2. With the group as tight as it is, Gloucestershire really need to win tonight. The toss will be important. Let's go out to the middle and see what the result of it is with Rob Scanlon.
This is Village Hotels. We're about to have the coin toss. Jack Taylor has the coin. It's the West Country Derby. Here we go. The call is tails from Lewis Gregory. It is a head, which means Gloucestershire have won the toss. Jack, what have you decided to do and why?
We're going to have a bowl again. It's worked quite nicely for us in the last couple of games here, so hopefully we can put them under a bit of early pressure.
Yeah, back-to-back wins. Any team changes?
We've got one team change. Grant Rollison's not quite fit, so Ben Wells comes in for his debut.
Brilliant. Big night for him. What a night to do it. Go well tonight.
Thank you very much.
Lewis, thanks for your time. You've had a brilliant start to this season's campaign. Obviously, a minor setback the other night. How confident are you can, set a decent total?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are playing really well. So, yeah, we're going to go out there, we'll assess conditions and look to put them under pressure and hopefully post a defendable total.
I know Matt Henry's rested for tonight. In terms of team changes, what have you decided to do?
Yeah, we've got a few. Abe's is back fit after missing the last game. Sid's is out injured, so Craigo and Josh Davey come back in.
Enjoy your night.
Cheers, thanks.
Thanks a lot to Lewis Gregory and Jack Taylor. So confirmation from the middle then that Gloucestershire have won the toss and they've elected to bowl first.
And good evening, welcome to the Seat Unique Stadium in Bristol. Commentary tonight brought to you courtesy of hay fever tablets and something for a sore tooth. But Ian Randall is here and Dan Whiting is here, and we're glad that you're with us as well for what should be a corker of a T20 game between two teams who like a bit of needle between each other, Dan, don't they?
Yeah, it's bubbling up nicely out there, isn't it? The crowds are pouring in here. There's over 7,000 going to be here at the Seat Unique Stadium tonight, and it really is an occasion in the West, isn't it? It's one of the ones that everyone looks forward to. When the fixtures come out, the calendar comes out, and it is the one all the players look forward to, all the supporters look forward to.
They do.
Of both counties.
They do indeed, and the thing about this game is that people know that even with a big crowd in Bristol, you have to get here early. It's in a residential area of the ground. Parking can be a challenge, but those who have taken that advice and got here early, it's been long queues for the beer. The sun hats are well in evidence, and supporters are going to be getting well behind their teams. You heard the news from the middle with Robert at the toss. Gloucestershire won the toss and elected to field first. Dan, what about the Gloucestershire team? They named 14, so they had a few options.
Yeah, they did. Ben Wells has come in. It's going to be his first proper T20 game. He played one against Sri Lankan Development 11 last year, but this is his first T20 game. He's a right-hand bat, 22-year-old. He also keeps wicket, but I should imagine Bracey will probably take the gloves tonight. So Ben Wells has come in. Ben Charlesworth, Miles Hammond, Ollie Price, who's having a wonderful season, isn't he, in T20? He's taken 9 wickets so far, just 10.66. He's got runs. The other day got 46, and he's mustered in the field as well. So James Bracey, Jack Taylor will skip at the side, Zafar Gahar, Danny Lamb, Matt Taylor, Tom Smith and David Payne. So that means that Josh Shaw, Zaman Akhtar and Grant Rollison miss out the 14.
Yes, Rollison, of course, I think pulled a muscle during the game here against Middlesex. Didn't field for the whole of the innings and didn't bat. So he is out of the side tonight. Somerset also named 13. They've left out Tom Lammonby, the only left-hander in that 13, and Casey Aldridge. So when the time comes, they won't have an overseas player in their 11. Will Smead, Tom Banton, Tom Kohler-Cadmore, Sean Dixon, Tom Abel, Lewis Gregory, their white ball captain, Ben Green, the second highest wicket taker in the competition with 16, Roloff van der Merwe, who single-handedly last year won Somerset the game with some extraordinary hitting, Craig Overton, Josh Davey, who's been on loan to Leicestershire for the last round of championship matches, and young teenager Shoaib Bashir, 19 years old, young off-spinner, and he made his debut on Wednesday in the defeat against Hampshire. Well, Dan mentioned Ollie Price, never played a county T20 game until the start of this tournament, and he's making quite an impact already. And Rob Scanlon spoke to him before the game tonight.
Your first T20 West Country derby, what are you expecting in terms of the game and the atmosphere?
Well, I think we're all expecting a really good contest. They're a very good side, playing very well, and we feel in some real good form at the minute. So yeah, expecting a good game. I'm sure. Well, it's a sellout, so the atmosphere will be fantastic. I'm sure we all can't wait.
Yeah, I think 7,500 we packed in. I think you said your mum and dad are coming over from Oxford as well. How important is it in the context of your group stage as well?
Yeah, massive. I think like at this point we've played 6 games and we really feel like we found some rhythm. So hopefully just let that continue and build some momentum. Obviously won the last couple, so yeah, I feel like it's an important game like they all are. But obviously with it being a derby and a full house, I think we want to put on a good show.
You were impressed with bat and ball again on Sunday against Middlesex. How good in terms of touch are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident. I think, like I said, after 6 games, it comes around pretty quickly, the T20s, but you feel like you find a bit of rhythm, find some form, feel good with both bat and ball. So yeah, hopefully a few more runs and maybe some wickets today, and hopefully get that win.
It was always going to be a transitional opening to the group stages because there's quite a few new faces. We've said goodbye to some really established names, and you said now you feel that you've got that momentum.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously it's a slightly different team to the one that we've fielded the last few years. We lost some fantastic cricketers, but look, a lot of people have stood up, and like we said, we found some real good momentum. So yeah, I think we really feel like we found some form in this competition, and hopefully let that run through.
And just finally, I don't know whether this suits you, with your spin, or whether as a batter you'd prefer, I don't know, higher scoring games, but what are you expecting from the pitch and the kind of scores? What's a par score, I guess, is my question.
It's a good question. I think tough to answer at this stage. I haven't really seen too much of the pitch, but I'm sure it'll be similar to the one that we played the last couple of games on. I don't think it'll be a 220, but I think sort of a 160, 170 out here, especially with the fast outfield, is very achievable. So yeah, probably something around that, I reckon.
Should be great fun. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you. Looking forward to it.
terrific catch.
Very well done, and he's done superbly.
And it's a big shot straight away from Phillips.
There we go, he might have just turned his bat on.
Well, that's the scene here at Bristol. You can see the clock, 7 minutes to the start. News from the middle, Gloucestershire have won the toss and elected to field first. The pitch, Dan, pretty central, but again we have the short boundary to the Michael Klinger corner, and we also still have a very fast and actually in certain areas quite bare outfield.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, the outfield here in Bristol is probably one of the quickest in the country, and this will be absolute lightning. I'm just having a look at the queue for the beer tent, Ian, which is rather long, and you can bet your bottom dollar that in about half an hour the queue for the toilets will be just as long.
Well, I hope they're watching the cricket.
There it is. There's the queue.
Whilst they're queuing.
There's the queue for the beer tent. I mean, this is an occasion in the West Country. It's building up nicely, isn't it? The atmosphere's building. You can really sense there's a sort of like a tension around the ground, isn't it?
And I think that's because the Gloucestershire supporters know that their team probably has to win tonight. They're halfway through the tournament, or nearly halfway through the tournament. The group is splitting. The top three are getting away. The bottom three are cast adrift. And Gloucestershire are in the middle. And their issue is that their last 3 games, none of them are here at Bristol. They've got to go to Taunton, they've got to go to Southampton against 2 of the top 3, and they finish up at Sussex. And they've got to give themselves a chance when they go into those 3 games of being right in the mix. They don't want to have too much to do.
No, they definitely don't. I mean, and Gloucestershire's record, I believe, at the GS Bowl is pretty poor.
Very poor.
So, you know, and you don't want to be going to Taunton. Just saying, the Somerset fans have travelled up in their numbers today, haven't they, up the M5, about 40 miles up from Taunton. But a lot of them are sort of based in the south of Bristol as well, haven't they? Somerset have got a big support in the south of Bristol, and just going out towards the airport and the Mendips, etc. That's all Somerset territory, whereas Gloucestershire tends to be the north of the river and going northwards. And Somerset fans have really travelled here in their numbers tonight.
So just looking at the balance of the 2 teams then, umpires Paul Baldwin and Russell Warren will lead the teams out very shortly. Somerset have got 2 spinners later on. Rudolf van der Merwe, very much, how should we say, in the autumn of his career, and Shoaib Bashir very much in the spring. Yeah, early spring of that.
He had a wonderful game here, Van der Merwe, last year. I mean, Somerset were dead and buried, weren't they? And his 48 not out of 15 balls. Yeah, I mean, it just changed the game. It was rain interrupted, wasn't it? I think it was 11 overs per side. And his knock was, I mean, nothing short of sensational.
Gloucestershire have got, obviously, the 2 left-arm spinners, Tom Smith and Zafar Gahar. The question is whether they would also use either Ollie Price or Jack Taylor or both, depending on how this pitch plays. Will it be another kind of 140 sort of pitch where that sort of score gets you in the game?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely use Ollie Price. I mean, look at his track record. He's taken 9 wickets in T20. We just heard from him a moment ago, and he's averaging 10.66, and it's good enough for William the Conqueror, and it's good enough for Ollie Price.
And those wickets, the wickets have come cheaply. He has been quite expensive in terms of runs for over, but if you're getting people out, then that is the key factor. And Somerset too, in Ben Green, have got the second highest wicket taker in the tournament. Only Nathan Souter at Durham has taken more. So you know, they will be, I'm sure, confident. They lost that tight game at the Ageas Bowl on Wednesday night, but they've got enough firepower in their batting that would suggest that they would come here still pretty confident, despite only one upset out of 7. And
it's against Hampshire, who are a decent side as well. They're the holders. So, you know, it's no disgrace losing to Hampshire. Umpires coming out, and Gloucestershire coming out, led by Jack Taylor. Alfred the Gorilla out there with no dogs barking at him today.
No, that was one of the things we noticed on Sunday afternoon when quite a few of our 4-legged friends were in the crowd watching both the Western Storm game and the Gloucestershire Middlesex game, and they didn't like the headgear of Alfred the Gorilla. One or two of the dogs. It probably spooked them a bit, and quite understandably. Welcome to our friends if you're watching from Taunton. As we always do, we try and be fair and balanced in our coverage, and that won't change tonight. Gloucestershire then, as they often do, start from the Ashley Down Road end, and that's because it means that the last over is bowled from the pavilion end with a slightly longer straight boundary, and David Payne will open up. Obviously didn't play in the opening 6 rounds of the championship after ankle surgery, but good that he's back and has played a full part in this T20.
Yeah, I was at the Oval on Wednesday, Ian, and the noise was unbelievable. It was, you know, probably about 20,000 Indian fans in there. And I'll tell you what, the noise tonight is equivalent there. You know, it's coming through our headphones here, and it's giving me a right headache already.
Oh. So Tom Banton and Will Smead will open for Somerset. Banton on strike to David Payne's first ball, and he plays it out into the ground on the offside, and they'll take a comfortable single, a tumbling stop. James Bracey is indeed keeping wicket, although Ben Wells of course can. They've got the 2 men out, unsurprisingly are both square of the wicket, one at deep backward point and one at deep square leg. Smead's only got a half century this season in this competition. Waits for Payne. It's stretching him a bit outside the off stump, but that's punched away through the offside, almost with very little backlift, and that's absolutely raced away for 4.
I tell you what, though, that was in the air for a while. That wasn't a million miles away from the hands of Danny Lamb at extra cover.
Just goes to prove how fast that outfield is, though. It didn't really appear to middle that, and once it beat the field, it was lightning to the rope. Payne in this first over, past umpire Baldwin. That's a bit straighter. He wants an LBW for that, but he won't get it.
A little bit high and missing leg stump as well, but nip back a long way there. There's a little bit tinge of green on this wicket, isn't there? be interesting to see what it does. The power play is crucial here, isn't it? It really is.
So, I'm listening to some of the other commentaries around the country during the early part of this week, and discussion about the 6th over of the power play was long and detailed at some games. Payne again to Smeed. That's a bit straighter. He needs to work that into the gap on the leg side. There'll be a comfortable 2. It was a bit scruffy from out in the deep from Miles Hammond.
Yeah, I think Gloucestershire will be throwing the ball into the ground. These last 2 wickets here against Middlesex and Surrey have stuck in the wicket a little bit, haven't they? Surrey was 1-2-4, Middlesex was what, 1-3-9. So they're not high scoring, and I think if you can get the ball soft.
Payne again running away from us at the Ashley Down Road end. And again, he thought he got through there. And it's just a single to Will Smeed, out to Miles Hammond.
So what they'll do is they'll throw it in one bounce into James Bracey. They'll try and soften up the ball legitimately.
And the pass will have a word if it's more than one bounce, I think. That will be generally the pattern. Ollie Price and Jack Taylor at mid-on and mid-off respectively. Payne in. Again, not much foot movement there from Tom Banton. A good stop from Danny Lamb. Completes David Payne's first over. Somerset will know. They'll have looked at the scores the last couple of games. They'll probably know what they need here. Solid start and the power to add both towards the end of the power play and indeed beyond it. Matt Taylor, I think, is going to open from the pavilion end, so left arm over the wicket attack at both ends for Gloucestershire at the outset.
Yeah, interestingly, Jack Taylor has used his bowlers up until about the 8th or the 9th over in 1 over spells, hasn't he? He just keeps chopping and changing, doesn't let the batsman settle. So Matt Taylor's going to come over the wicket to Will Smeed from the pavilion end, and that's flashed and into the gloves of Bracey.
I think I heard you talking to a spectator out and around the ground earlier on tonight about bowling into the pitch and whether that might be, if this wicket is placed the same as the last 2, that might be the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is. Taylor in. Smeed gets down the wicket to him and just works him into the leg side to Zafar Gahar at deep square. He's just in front of the wicket there. You have to
be, I think, sympathetic towards the ground staff here, Dan. They've obviously been watering the wickets, as you would expect, but you can't water the outfield when it's as big as this, and there are some areas that are very dry, and we could get more than the odd bobble tonight, particularly straight down the ground and out towards the mound stand side.
Taylor comes in past the umpire, and that hits Benson in the midriff somewhere and just drops down onto the pitch. Benson's a flamboyant player, strong wrists, which has come from hockey. He's a very good hockey player as a youngster. And he can score in a 360-degree arc, which makes him a very dangerous player. His eye-catching performances in the Blast have brought him into England contention. Here's Taylor into him. That's got to be close. He's walked across his stumps there. Ooh, let's have a look at this. I think he's probably missing off stump.
Outside off, I think.
He went across a long way. Taylor follows him. No, nowhere near.
It's almost hit him on the heel outside the off stump.
Smeed's got a fantastic name. William Conrad Francis Smeed. Got 52 the other night against Hampshire. As that's gone down the ground. That's not a million miles away from Jack Taylor, but he's going to get 4 runs for it. He didn't get all of that there, Banton, but enough to get it past mid-on. And it races away down to the pavilion. And yeah, Smeed had a very good night the other night against Hampshire, 52, and he took an absolutely outstanding catch on the boundary at deep backward square leg. Here's Matt Taylor into Banton, and where's that gone? That's just dropped down at his feet, perilously close to the stumps. And that completes the second over, so 13 for none after 2 overs. Banton's on 5, Smead's on 8. And the queue for the beer tent still hasn't gone down.
Well, people may spend most of the evening queuing for the beer by the sound of it. But here, Gloucestershire are going to mix things up early. So just 1 over from David Payne, and we're going to have Zafar Gahar bowling in the power play. Not only bowling in the power play, bowling very early in the power play, only in the 3rd over. So only 2 allowed out, remember?
Yeah, he's got the long on. He's got Ollie Price down here at long on, down below us. And he's got Miles Hammond out at deep mid wicket.
So Zafar's got 5 men on the offside, saving 1. Right on the edge of the circle. He's away from us again. That's back of a length too. Tumbling take from Ben Charlesworth. So he couldn't get that away. Zafar just wipes his hand in the dirt. He might have a long bowl in the championship match with Leicestershire that's coming up at the weekend, you would have thought. But here, just the permitted 4 overs. Oh, that's swept high in the air. Is that going to go all the way for 6? Yes, it is. It's not the biggest boundary on that side. It's slightly longer towards the mound stand. He got well underneath that.
Yeah, that's a legitimate shot.
Did Will Smead, but
legitimate shot. He cleared his front leg, went sweeping, and got underneath it. And it's a safe shot because there's no man out there. So you've got the man at deep mid wicket, and you've got the long on. So Zafar wants to get him while he's driving, ideally.
It's also why there's no cars in that side of the ground tonight. That's shorter from Zafar. Didn't get up very much either, taken by James Bracey. 19 for no wicket in the 3rd over. Zafar trying to get Smead to play into the offside, into that arc of fielders. That's a bit too short. He's whipped that away again, but straight to Hammond this time. I just get 1.
Gloucestershire will be happy with 6, 7s and over in the power play.
Yeah, Somerset bat a long way down, as we know. The tail arguably doesn't even start at 10. Zafar again to Banton. Again, that's into the pitch. Cracked it past the fielder, Danny Lamb in the covers, and that will go all the way for 4. His margin's so slight here. It was just short enough for Banton to go back and crack it through the gap, add extra cover, and it raced away once more for 4.
Yeah, lovely shot. Really nailed that one. Absolutely crunched it through the covers. And nothing Danny Lamb could do. Pure timing there.
Gloucestershire would like at least a couple of wickets in the power play if they could. No change to the field. He's banged that in short too, and Lamb gets behind it, and Banton can't get it away. So 11 off Zafar Gahar's first over. He would have hoped for it to be tidier than that. At 24 for no wicket, Somerset having been put into bat by Jack Taylor. James Bracey is dispensed with the helmet and asked for the cap again. So Matt Taylor will continue after a pretty tidy first over from the pavilion end.
What's going on? Someone gets more than 1 over in the beginning.
Kohler Cadmore in at 3, Dixon, Abel, Gregory. It's a strong top 6, that.
Very strong, yeah. Taylor coming in over the wicket. Just evades Ben Charlesworth at short 3rd, and that runs away for 4 runs.
That is the shortest boundary on the ground. Charlesworth right on the edge of the circle. Probably not quite in your shot here. And despite the full length Peter Shilton, he couldn't reach it.
And he's about 6'4", 6'5", Ben Charlesworth. Taylor in. Oh, that's slightly quicker. And Smeed misses it.
Again, there wasn't much bounce there, Dan, was there?
No, there wasn't. No.
Here's a second look at it. Look at where this goes past the stumps. And it's halfway up, not much more than that.
You want to get on your front foot on this, wouldn't you? We should have a lovely sunset here later on. One of the best grounds for sunsets. Taylor over the wicket. That's gone up in the air. Oh, and that just evades Jack Taylor out at mid-off.
Always about a yard short of that. Even a dive at any point. He couldn't judge whether he could dive at it and catch it or not. In the end, he just tried to keep his feet. And he probably saved at least 2 runs there, because if he'd have dived and missed it, the ball may have spun on and gone to the boundary.
Yeah. Sometimes I've seen them parry those as well, parry them over the boundary. Taylor's going to come around the wicket here to Tom Banton. Crowd transfixed here at the seat unique. Here's Taylor around the wicket. That's down the leg side. No wide. It must be a policy this year, because we've seen it. Maybe it's flick the trousers there, but we've seen a number of sort of what we would think would be wides in previous years not given, haven't we? So I wonder if it's the batsman can't manufacture a wide by moving across, possibly. Anyway, here's Taylor, as that's pushed into the covers there by Banton, and they scamper through for the single. Takes the score to 30.
They're not taking excess risk here, these two. Banton almost even more so than Smeed. He's kind of playing second fiddle, quite happy to do that, knowing that wickets in hand are important currency.
That's gone up in the air. That's gone all the way. That's 6 runs to Will Smeed. Nice pick up. And that's 36 off 4 overs.
Yes, 36 for no wicket, more to the point. 12 off that one with the boundary off the last ball. So often you hear coaches say, right, get out of the over with a dot. And Matt Taylor hasn't been able to do that. So Smeed accelerating the Somerset run rate. All the runs off the bat so far, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. Banton has had almost half the strike, but you wouldn't know it from the board. And David Payne coming back for over number 5. Gloucestershire still searching for this breakthrough. Banton waits for him. It's a slower ball, and the field set right on the edge of the circle. They can nick a single.
We spoke the other day here at Bristol about, it's not a wicket for the big shots, is it? When it sticks in the wicket like this, it's not one for the big shots. It's a matter of running well between the wickets, turning your 1s to 2s, 2s to 3s, etc., and actually keeping the scoreboard ticking over, risk-free.
Well, that's what largely they've done so far. We've only had 2 sixes in that power play to this point. And, it's a misfield. It's given Somerset a single there. Ben Wells has come onto the ball, and he's gone kind of half past it in a way. He's got something on it, but not taking it cleanly. And Somerset were mustered to rotate the strike again.
10 balls left of the power play.
Payne to Banton. Again, that doesn't give him too much room. Good stop, Danny Lamb. He won't get one there. Lamb's loan, I think, allows him to play in the Leicestershire match, which starts in the Championship here on Sunday, and then it's up to what Gloucestershire and Lancashire can agree beyond that. Payne again to Banton. Bit back of a length once more again, straight to Lamb. Has he got us? He's got that. Yeah, but a bit of the yes no's in the middle, and in the end,
You missed the sorry out here.
yeah, it should be yes no wait sorry, shouldn't it? Really, but another good stop from Lamb has kept Banton on strike. He has 11. Payne past umpire Warren. Tried to tuck him up there. Banton backing away. Still didn't get it away through that offside. They've pushed a man back now at mid-wicket, so one of the circle on the offside has dropped deeper. So there is a gap, quite a big gap actually, between point and extra cover. Payne in again. That's better angle. It's a tidy over from David Payne. Back into the attack. That's a good response from him. Only 2 singles off it. Aided by some good fielding from Danny Lamb. 38 for no wicket. Somerset. But it's still for no wicket. And that is a key factor in their favour with 1 over of the power play to go.
Certainly is, Ian. Somerset have come into this game with a few injury issues, haven't they? Peter Siddle, I believe, is going to be out for a while. He'll be missed. He'd be ideal for this wicket, I think.
No Tom Abel. Sorry, Abel is playing tonight. He was a doubt.
He was a doubt. Yeah, it was touch and go, but he's...
Matt Henry has been rested too.
Matt Henry's been rested. Tom Smith's going to come into the attack here for Gloucestershire. More left arm spin. Last over of the power play.
He's got a long off out, but not a long on at the moment.
Yeah, Somerset will want to maximise their scoring off this. Was that a chance? It was a good stop. He saved runs anyway from Matt Taylor. They've got 2 of them, but he saved 2 runs because that had 4 written all over it. I don't know if that was in the air for a while actually. I think it just dropped short of him perhaps.
Taylor and Payne both behind square on the leg side. Right on the edge of the circle.
Smith coming around the wicket. That's cut beautifully there by Smeed. Gives himself room, backs away and carves Tom Smith through the offside for 4 runs.
Even at this stage, this is looking quite dangerous for Somerset, with these 2 getting in and with plenty of power behind them to add.
Swept there by Smeed, and that's gone all the way over deep backward square for 6 runs. Very strong square of the wicket, isn't he? Cutting, sweeping. I think that's his 3rd swept 6 there from Will Smeed.
I mean, and
that's the 50 up.
His career average is 29 across a good sample of games, more than 60 matches.
I think he's white ball only now, isn't he, Smeed? I don't think he plays any red ball. I think he's only on a white ball contract.
He's not played any first-class cricket in his career.
Wow. The modern player, hey? Well, certainly looks dangerous in this format. That's down the leg side, and Smeed again sweeps Tom Smith, and this is getting a very expensive over here for Gloucestershire. Smith straying onto his leg stump. He's got a field set there to keep the ball outside off stump really. He's got the arc of fielders. There he's got short third, a backward point, a cover point, extra and a mid-off. And Smeed pierces those as well. He's going to get 4 more. This is destructive from Will Smeed.
This is 20 off the over already. One big over like this can set a team up as a springboard, can't it?
It certainly can. And that's cut away, and that's going to be Will Smeed's 50 of just 21 balls. really good innings. Set the platform here. And Somerset in the ascendancy in this West Country derby.
Well, Tom Smith over has cost 24, and when you've got his record over his career, there will not be many times where he has conceded that many runs in his first over of a T20 match.
No, definitely not. Danny Lamb's going to come into the attack.
But 62 for no wicket in the power play. This could take some pulling back for Gloucestershire here. They need arguably 2 or 3 pretty sharpish wickets. Danny Lamb into Banton. That was down the leg side, but there is now a man down at fine leg. David Payne down there, and it'll be just one, but
you got away with that.
All Banton needs to do at the moment is to give Smead the strike.
Yeah, got away with that, because if Banton had left that one alone, it would probably been a wide down the leg side.
Half century off 21 balls for Will Smead. 6 4s and 3 6s, and Lamb into him, and he's content to push a single out into the offside. So 42 out of 51 in boundaries for Will Smead.
Got 52 the other night though, so Gloucestershire fans hoping that he's susceptible on that number.
Lamb forcing one a little bit tighter to the batsman, taken by James Bracey. Fine leg out, square of the wicket, both at point and at deep square, both out. Long on, also out. Lamb running away from our commentary position. That's hoiked into the air. Where's that going to go? Near to Tom Smith on the bounce. He just about stops it, and they'll just take the single out in front of spectators who are probably 5 or 6 deep in that Kennington Avenue side of the ground.
More than that, 20 deep. There's loads over there.
Yeah, but I think the back 14 are all in the beer queue. The front 6 are all watching the cricket. Lamb in again. Oh, that's gone miles up. Absolutely miles up in the air. And it back again over the Kennington Avenue rope. Smead once more. If it's not Smith, it's Lamb. It's the same outcome. And he's finding the sweet spot of his bat regularly, Will Smead, at the moment. This is, as Dan said, this is his top score now in the tournament this season. He does have a 100 in this competition.
Yeah, we spoke about Gloucestershire bowling into the pitch. I think it's now time to change that. I think it's now time to go block hole at Smead. You've got your long on down the ground. I think bring one of the fielders up into the ring, put your long off back, and go block hole at him.
Umpire Baldwin wants a different ball. He was happy with the condition of the last one.
I think that one bounced over the groundsman's shed, actually. I think it hit the concrete and went over the groundsman's shed.
It's like it would have gone into one of the gardens in Kennington Avenue.
Probably sitting through the pane of somebody's greenhouse at the moment, so...
Lamb will try again from the Ashley Down Road end. That's 6 more, I think. It's gone very high in the air. Ollie Price can't get to that. And that's gone to Michael Klinger, corner. Away, over wide, long on, in front of the marquee for 6 more. And Danny Lamb's introduction into the attack has not been any more economic than his teammates. First over after the power play. And Somerset, who got to the power play at 62, have added another 15 in that over, and they're going on at 11 and over at the moment, and
39 off the last 2 overs. Gloucestershire have to put the brake on here, and they've tossed the ball to Zafar Gahar to see if he can weave his magic.
I think at the outset we said that Gloucestershire's best chance was probably to chase. They didn't want to be chasing, what, 200?
Zafar in, follows Banton, who can only push it to Danny Lamb at backward point.
They're going at 11 at the moment, Somerset. And if you're their young off-spinner, all these runs are good news for him later on.
That's gone up in the air. That's dropped just short of the fielder. There's been about 4 or 5 that have just dropped out of reach or just short. And they've all been off Banton, I think, as well. So
Yes,
Smeed's
Smeed's been middling most things.
Yeah, Smeed's one's been, you know, you can't have your fielders 30 yards beyond the rope. Here is Zaffa to Will Smeed, who defends that. And that's good cover there. And that's Jack Taylor. Zaffa goes diving across, misses it, but Jack Taylor doing the backing up. Keeps Smeed to what is a very rare dot ball. And Smeed goes hoiking across the line. Can only find deep mid-wicket.
That was, he almost wound himself up to knock that as far as Nailsy, it looked like. He was almost a bit too keen there.
That's punched through the offside, and that's going to beat Tom Smith. Too much power there from Tom Banton. Lovely shot.
It's
quick hands through the ball.
interesting mix, these two, isn't it? Because it's almost as if they've gone with a more measured attack at one end and an out-and-out onslaught at the other.
Here's Banton on 18, about to face Zafar Gahar, and crunches that one. Has he got that on the other side of Smith? No, that's good fielding out in the deep. And that completes the 8th over. 85 for none.
And when you're saying that there's only 8 off, not only, there's 8 runs off the over, you're thinking, oh, that's not bad at this stage. Yeah, but you have to look at what's gone before, and the fact that those 2 overs, 6 and 7, as you say, cost 39. That's a massive injection of acceleration into the Somerset total.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's match defining.
Right, Jack Taylor's going to have a bowl with his leg spin. Somerset don't have a left-hander, so he's turning the ball, as Zafar Gahar would do, away from the right-handers. But whereas he might have used Tom Smith here, Smith has had 1 expensive over, so Taylor into the attack and wants a full toss, and that's gone.
Oh my word.
A long way away for 6 runs, probably would have been 12 runs on many grounds. It's been thrown back by Ollie Price, but that was a freebie almost from Jack Taylor first up, and punished as such by Smeed, who didn't need any second invitation. Taylor again. Oh, what's another full toss? He hasn't quite got it, but he's got 4 for it anyway. And this game, dare one say, could be out of Gloucestershire's reach pretty quickly if this continues for much longer.
Yeah, they are up against it, to say the least.
Taylor in. Slammed down the ground. At least he pitched that one. And fielded by Ollie Price on the boundary at long on. You know, the first 2 full. That one he dragged down a bit. But it's not easy against these two, Smeed in particular with his eye in, and Banton hasn't quite got the same coordination just at the minute. As you can see, 20 off 24 that will now become in a minute when it ticks round. Taylor again to Banton. It's bowled short. Banton's hit that up in the air, but that will go beyond Ollie Price. That's 6 more.
I think it's time for Ollie Price to come into the attack. If you want a wicket, he's your man. He's proved it again and again this season. It's, you know, if Gloucestershire on wickets, It's David Payne or Ollie Price who you need to chuck the ball to. That's where the wickets have come from generally this season.
Well, that's Banton's first maximum. Taylor outside the off stump. That will be called a wide. That's
the 100 up there as well.
An easy one for Russell Warren to call. Taylor with the field well spread, and he's very nearly bowled Banton as he tried to pull that again out to that shorter Kennington Avenue side boundary. But an expensive over with 18 off it. Gloucestershire had Somerset 38 for no wicket after 5, and after 9 overs they are 103 for no wicket. So that is 65 off 4 overs. That is crazy, isn't it? It shows how fast some sides can score in this format.
Yeah, definitely. Zafar Gahar, can he put the break on? That's gone up in the air. Has that gone all the way? It has gone all the way. 6 runs. Miles Hammond down there, I think.
Wonder where Somerset think this total might go.
260.
Oh. It's scary where it might go at the moment if you're a Gloucestershire supporter.
Smeed goes trying to smear that over the leg side. Doesn't get any of it, and that is a welcome dot ball for the hosts. 109.
He's 82 off 31 balls.
And he's smeared that one into the leg side as well. We'll get 2 there.
I mean, it is kind of shades of Van der Merwe last season, but just twice the volume of deliveries.
Yeah.
That was a mini version of what we've seen tonight.
That was just carnage, wasn't it? Van der Merwe last year. It was just...
This hasn't been far short, to be fair.
It was outrageous. Smeed on 84. We're not even halfway through the innings. That's a wide there. Smeed could get 160 here. The way he's going. Zafar. That's gone up in the air. He's going to get 4 runs. He wasn't in control of that one, though. It's a top edge and goes over. David Payne at short fine leg and spins away, kicks on to evade Matt Taylor at deep square, but he wasn't quite in control. But sometimes you make your own luck in this game, don't you? And Smeed has spread the field so much that, you know, he can now pick and choose his moments, pick and choose where he puts the ball, because the field is now well spread. That's gone up in the air. That's 6 more. That's gone onto the Thatcher's roof. This is outrageous.
Well, he's got 100 in the 100, and he's not hanging about in trying to get to 3 figures here. And most of these hits have been really clean, Dan, as well, haven't they? He's got underneath a couple which have had enough carry on them, but
that's gone up in the air. He's going to be out. That's gone. And Gloucestershire needed that. Matt Taylor with the catch, and Smeed doesn't quite get what would have been a well-deserved 100. 94 off 35 balls. And Gloucestershire didn't half need that one, Ian Randall.
Well, they probably needed it 5 overs ago, if not more. But he, even at the halfway point, even at the quarter point of the match, he may have actually won this game for Somerset already, because they're so far ahead of the game in terms of the runs they've got on the board, the power they have to follow, and if anybody's been stood in that beer queue for the last 30 minutes, I hope they've been paying attention, because by the time they get back to their seat with their pint, the game may be done.
Yeah, I think as Tom Kohler-Cadmore come to the wicket. Joined Somerset.
8 sixes and 8 fours for Will Smeed.
Kohler-Cadmore, signed from Yorkshire last year. Previously at Worcestershire, where his career stalled somewhat. Product of Malvern College.
Matt Taylor back into the attack from the Ashley Down Road end. Edged and caught by James Bracey. So Banton goes as well. Not before time. And here's a second look at this catch. It's a decent catch actually. Low, one-handed. And Banton, who had played the supporting role to Smeed and largely watched the carnage from the other end, is now out for 26. So, as often happens when a stand is broken, both batsmen are out pretty quickly.
It was a good catch because Bracey was going the other way and he was slightly wrong-footed. You've got to have really good technique to get back over onto the other side. One wicket-keeper who's not playing tonight is James Rue at Somerset, and I've heard a lot about him. I've never seen him in the flesh. I've seen him on the stream, etc., but he looks a really good prospect down at Somerset.
He's got 560 runs at 62 in the Championship this season, so that tells you he's got 300s already. So 2 wickets in quick succession. Now what can Gloucestershire do to check this run rate? They've got to keep taking wickets, and Tom Abel has come in at number 4. Matt Taylor to him, and he defends, but frankly Somerset can take a couple of overs here if they really want to, just to have a look at the bowling with 2 fresh batsmen. And here is a look again at James Bracey's catch.
He's going the wrong way. He's going down the leg side and he's gone back the other way. Fantastic glove work there from Bracey and footwork.
Abel waits for Matt Taylor. That's well pitched up, and Abel will just punch one up to Ollie Price. Gloucestershire have got to quieten this right down. They've got to have probably 5 overs. Even 5 overs at a run a ball probably isn't going to be enough here. They've got to really put the squeeze on, because 150 with 5 overs to go could still be 200. And that will take some chasing. Kohler-Cadmore, little dab out into the offside. There's a throw at the stumps from Ben Charlesworth. He doesn't hit. And Kohler-Cadmore gets off the mark.
Tom Abel, he's one of the nicest blokes in cricket. He really is. He's captain of the red ball side. He knows everyone at Somerset, from the bar staff to the cleaning lady to everyone he knows by Christian name, and that's natural leader.
Matt Taylor pitches that up again to Abel, who's just content to take one. Out to Ollie Price at long on. So Gloucestershire have already used 6 bowlers.
Yeah.
3 of those bowlers have only bowled 1 over each, and those 3 overs have cost 57.
Wow.
There's been the problem. Matt Taylor in, that's again into the pitch, and Abel can't get that away, and that's a much tidier over from Matt Taylor. Just the 3 runs off it, and Gloucestershire need plenty more of those. 108 for no wicket. Became 122 for 1 at halfway, and now Matt Taylor has added the 2nd wicket, that of Tom Banton, to the dismissal of Will Smeed, who in half an hour has basically almost won this game by himself, you feel, unless Gloucestershire can miraculously pull it round.
It's never over until both sides are batted. Tom Smith's coming back into the attack, as that's played elegantly down the ground by Tom Abel.
See, a runner ball from here is 180. And Somerset would say, well, you know, that's a very modest target from here.
They'll be disappointed if they only get 180 from here. Smith coming around the wicket to Cola Cadmore, who pushes that one out into the offside where Danny Lamb does the fielding.
And it got to the point when Speed was batting that it didn't matter where the field was.
No,
because everything...
You can't put the fielders on the third floor of the flat.
No.
You know. That's gone through the legs there of that Ben Charlesworth. It is, yeah. He'll be disappointed with that. He's one of the better fielders in this side.
The knee went down for the long barrow, but there was still a hole there.
That's punched off the back foot there by Abel. Runs the first one quickly, tries to put the pressure on deep cover on Danny Lamb out there. But he fields it cleanly and they settle for one. 1-3-2 for 2. Abel on 8. Cola Cadmore. Just a couple to his name. And that's gone straight down the ground. And that, I think, has gone all... No, it's gone for 4. It must have been pretty close to the rope there.
It was low and flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if we can see that one again. Let's have a look. Oh, I thought that went over the rope. Maybe I need to go Specsavers here.
Other outlets are available.
They are, yes. Smith. Cola Cadmore pushes that one out to long off. Abel turns. He's interested in the second, but Cola Cadmore isn't. 1-3-7 for 2 at the end of the 12th over. And you often say double the score after 12. Well, if you do that here, it's going to be an absolute monster of a score, isn't it?
Surrey got a big total at Cardiff, didn't they, earlier in the week against
36
against Glamorgan.
Well,
and all this is doing, it's not only ramping up the pressure on the Gloucestershire bowlers for the remaining overs, it's ramping up the pressure on the batsmen from ball 1.
Yeah, certainly is.
Danny Lamb back into the attack after 1 over for 15. Tom Smith's 2 overs have cost 36. Zaffa's 3 overs for 38. It's been carnage. Down the leg side, taken by James Bracey, but again, no wide.
Flicked off the pad there.
Yeah, indicated by Russell Warren. Only 2 runs not off the bat in that total. Lamb in. Oh, goodness me, that's been middled. You don't need to chase that. That's another really, really clean hit. And Russell Warren's had plenty of practice of raising his arms in the air here. Cola Cadmore, again, eyeing that short boundary.
He's going to go home with sore shoulders tonight, isn't he, from raising his arms above his head.
That's the 10th 6 Somerset have hit, and we are only in the 13th over.
Yeah, this is brutal. It really is.
Chat between Danny Lamb and Jack Taylor, what they can try and do with the field here.
But this isn't the wicket that we saw for Surrey or for Middlesex.
No, it hasn't played that way at all, has it?
It's a wicket that comes onto the bat. So I'm expecting this to be a 180, 190 par as we normally have it here at Bristol. But I think Somerset are going to go a long way over that.
Well, that's what you suggest. We're only in the 13th over. Gloucestershire have to be a little bit wary. I mean, umpires will make allowances for ball retrieval and such like, but they've got to be a little bit careful with not to be incurring over-rate penalties. Lamb tries to pitch it up outside off stump line, and that's been treated with exactly the same way by Cola Cathmore, smashed away through extra cover for 4 more.
Yeah, that got what it deserved. It's a long half volley, and it's just got screaming, hit me, wits there. Gloucestershire haven't bowled one side of the wicket or the other here. It's very hard as a captain to set a field. They haven't bowled one length or another, they haven't bowled one side of the wicket or another. I know you've got to vary it in T20, but it's been an erratic display from Gloucestershire, and Somerset have punished them.
Again, just trying to cut off that area behind square on the offside. They've got a point and a backward point within about 5 yards of each other. Again, that's very wide from Lamb, and it's been smashed by Cola Cadmore again. That's 4 more away over where wide long off would be.
Well, if you bowl a 1.5 foot outside off stump, you're just giving the batsman room to swing his arms, and I can't understand the tactics here.
Cola Cadmore going pretty quickly, doesn't need any second invitation. Somerset's 150 up, and he's slashed that off a thick edge, and that's going to be 4 more. Well, slash hard, and even with a man down at third man, Matt Taylor couldn't reach that, and the boundary tally is absolutely racing up. Lamb's not finding it any easier to keep the lid on the scoring here. Slower ball. Well, that might have just deceived Cola Cadmore for a moment. He still picks up a single. But Lamb ruefully takes his hat. And it's 156 for 2. Again, 19 off that over. And Somerset still have 7 overs to go. 156 for 2.
Yeah, they're going to get 220 here.
Lamb 2 overs for 34. I mean, so many of the Gloucestershire bowlers have been going well into double digits per over, and that's very hard. It's very hard for the batters, and it's pretty hard for the rest of the team to watch.
Zafar in, just cramps up Cola Cadmore for room, runs the first one quickly, but Abel turns down the second.
The quicker bowlers have actually done better tonight. Matt Taylor and David Payne have bowled 5 overs for 30 between them.
That's chopped backward. Charlesworth doing the fielding, short third, just a single. Gloucestershire will be happy, they'll be content with singles here.
Oh, goodness me, yes.
Boundaries they have to stop. Stafford just adjusting his field there, brings the extra cover a little straighter, and then cramps up Cola Cadmore, who can just bunt one out to long on to Ollie Price out there.
You and I were talking before the game started down about, you know, Hampshire and Somerset. Gloucestershire have got to play both twice. How many wins could they realistically get against those two teams?
Zafar in. Charlesworth doing the fielding,
and
just ones.
I think I said to you that even one probably here wouldn't be a bad return. Well, that's going to put the focus fairly and squarely on the Hampshire game if this one continues to go the way it's going at the moment.
That's played out to extra. They're going to get 2 here. Tom Smith having to cover a lot of ground. Well, I mean, I think what we're finding in T20 now is, you know, the haves and the have-nots, because you're looking at, you know, counties with money. So you've got Somerset, you've got Hampshire, you've got Surrey, are by far the best sides in this division. That's gone in the air. Oh, what a catch!
It's Miles Hammond, I think.
Yeah, he's Hammond. Cola Cadmore goes for 30, diving, full stretch. Look at this. That's superb, Miles Hammond. But even those two put on 40, and they've only been together sort of what feels like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a really, really rapid run rate. There's no other word to describe it.
Yeah, just 6 off that over, so that's far better. Here's Sean Dixon coming to the crease. Last man in England to be given out handled the ball.
That was in his days at Durham?
Playing for Kent.
Playing for Kent?
Was. Yeah, inexplicably he just sort of stopped it from going onto his stumps, and then I think that was in 2016, and then the law changed in 2017, whereas now the law is now obsolete of handled the ball, and it's now part of obstructing the field. So Sean Dixon, I think, was the last man in the UK out handled the ball.
So David Payne's got 2 overs left of the remaining 6. And Jack Taylor says, right, I'm going to use at least 1 here. Matt Taylor's got 1 left. Zafar has finished his spell. Two for 44.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Ollie Price.
Yes, he hasn't bowled at all tonight, has he?
No.
David Payne back into the attack for his 3rd over, and that's just nudged into the leg side. So Abel and Dixon now the pair in the middle for Somerset, but they've got such a good base to work from. Stand of 122 in 10 overs for the first wicket. Out of that 122, Will Smead got 94. 94 with 8 sixes and 8 fours. And basically the others have batted round him.
Yeah, they have.
That's been the nub of it. Payne to Dixon. That's reasonably short, but it will go all the way down to the fielder in front of a small scoreboard. There are 3 scoreboards on the ground, of course, with T20, including the big trailer on the Kensington Avenue side. That was Ben Wells down there. Now can Payne nip out one of these 2? Abel waits for him. It's steered away down to Matt Taylor at 3rd man. And just take 1. It's been a while since I've seen as destructive his innings as that live, I must say.
From Smead?
Yeah.
It was pure vandalism, wasn't it? It was destructive.
Payne again to Dixon, who's tried to pull that a la Smead away into the Kennington Avenue car park. He hasn't got anywhere near enough on it, and it's dribbled out on the offside for a single. I don't think Payne will bowl both his remaining overs together here.
Well, Gloucestershire's strength this year has been Payne bowling the 19th and Matt Taylor bowling the 20th.
Payne again. All in the air on the bounce, but not past Ben Wells. Extra cover. So 3 in this on the offside, saving 1. Big gap on the leg side out to that slightly shorter boundary. Abel waits for Payne, and again that's slightly back of a length. He's got that one away. They'll want 2, but Zafar comes past that bare area and fields. The umpire just has a look towards Zaffa because he threw that in on the bounce very, very low. And with 5 overs to go, Somerset very, very well placed, as you can see. 167 for 3, only 5 off that over. I think if it doesn't start with a 2, Gloucestershire will be hugely relieved, Dan, from here.
Yeah, I think it will start with a 2, and I think it might have a 2 or a 3 following that 2 as well. Here's Ollie Price going to come into the attack. Bowling to Somerset's Red Bull skipper, Tom Abel.
I wonder if this is the one remaining over from a spinner to make up the second of the allocation of 4.
Abel reverses, Charlesworth fields, and Dixon scampers through. Abel really nailed that, a couple of yards either side of Charlesworth there, and that was 4 runs. Tom Abel, born just grew up just a stone's throw away from the Cooper Associates county ground down at Taunton. First Somerset captain to come through their academy. Here's Ollie Price too, Dixon, and Price got a hand on that. We've seen him catch those this season.
That would have been an outrageous catch, but he took a very good one
against Glamorgan
earlier in the tournament.
Yeah. Right, where's Abel going to go here? Is he going to reverse? Here's Ollie Price to him. Just conventional sweep, gets it out to mid-wicket where Zafar Gahar does the fielding. Crowd here loving the Bristol sunshine. 27 degrees it got to here in Bristol earlier. There's 1 to Dixon. I think they're going to come back for a second. Yeah, he's well placed. Put that into the gap there between deep mid-wicket and long on. And he comes back for a couple. Yeah, Dixon was signed from Durham. He played for Kent before that. Got 300, got a triple 100 for Kent at Beckenham. Oh, he's going to get 1 there, but didn't know a lot about that. Surrey cut.
Yes, what does Jack Taylor do from this Ashley Down Road end?
Oh, he's bowled him. Price has got Tom Abel sweeping, and he goes into double figures for the season for T20 wickets. Ollie Price does the trick again.
It was too early on that. Tom Abel has to make his way back. So Gloucestershire doing their best to check this, but it feels as if the horse bolted about half an hour ago with Smead's innings. Overs 5 to 10 as where this game, you suspect, is going to be won and lost.
Yeah, I think the horse has bolted.
84 runs in those 5 overs. So overs 5 to 10, 84 runs were scored. And that is, in any form of cricket, that's going to take some pulling round.
Yeah, it will do. Someone has to go ballistic for Gloucestershire. Good over that though from Ollie Price. 6 off the over, and the important wicket of the dangerous Tom Abel, which brings Lewis Gregory to the wicket.
So this is Matt Taylor's last over. Floodlights are on. I barely think they're needed. Matt Taylor from the Ashley Down Road end, and dabbed away for a single by Sean Dixon. So if Taylor bowls this, the 17th over, Gloucestershire have got to find 2 to go with David Payne's remaining 1.
Gregory can hit 6s. He's hit 170 maximums in his career. Been around a long time now. He's been around sort of 12, 13 years.
Matt Taylor to bowl to him around the wicket, and he'll content himself with a nudge into the leg side. They want 2, and the throw to the bowler's end is not quite ideal for Matt Taylor to take, so Dixon can get back for a second run. And nearly 200 appearances in this format for Lewis Gregory.
He's played all around the world. He's played for the Trent Rockets, Brisbane Heat.
Matt Taylor in his last over. Oh, that's gone straight down the ground. That'll be 6. Going to chase that. It's a clean hit. Gregory again adding to the maximums in this Somerset innings.
Rangpur Rangers in Bangladesh he's been at. Islamabad United. Karachi Kings, Peshawar Zalmi. Been around the block, hasn't he?
Have kit bag will travel.
Yeah.
Taylor again to Gregory. Slightly slower ball. And Gregory contents him. Well, I say content. He's probably not content with a single, but that's what he's ended up with.
Did he just pull up there? He sort of danced in the middle of the pitch, like sort of as if he stamped on the middle of the wicket there.
Just wondered whether he didn't look as
if he was injured.
Yeah, didn't complete the single.
I think the umpire might be having a little word with him there.
As tidy as you might expect. Or attempted reverse sweep. Doesn't function for Sean Dixon. Taken by James Bracey. Where he'll bat tonight. The inference might be as low as 6. Three overs after this. Short from Matt Taylor. Is that going to be allowed by Russell Warren? Oh, it's not. He's going to call it as a no ball.
Here we go. Let's have a look at this again from Lewis Gregory, where he stamps on the wicket there, straight down the middle of the pitch. And if he's not injured, I think that's a little bit naughty.
Taylor to Dixon. Waits for, again, a slower ball. Out to Ollie Price on the bounce at long on. And a single to complete Matt Taylor's spell. 1 for 31 he's taken, which in the carnage around him actually doesn't look too bad at all in 4 overs. 3 overs left. David Payne may be left for the last one. If he is, then Ollie Price can only bowl 1 more, and somebody else will have to find an over as well. Lamb, in theory, has 1 he can bowl. Tom Smith has 1 he can bowl. I suspect he probably won't, though. It might be 1 more from Lamb, we'll see. But Ollie Price over 18.
Here he comes from the pavilion end, and that has gone miles. That has gone into the top tier of the pavilion. Some of this hitting, Ian, is not just 6s, they're 12s. They're huge, aren't they? They're not just sort of clearing the rope, they're absolutely sort of hitting the top deck of the flats or top deck of the pavilion.
Yeah, they are. They've picked their boundaries here, Somerset. Very little's gone towards the man stand, you notice. It's all been straight or towards the Kennington Avenue side of the ground.
Price sees Dixon coming, so just drops it a little bit short. Misfield there, but no harm done. Just the 1.
Yes, you said some while ago it might be 220. That's a pretty good call.
I think I might have been a little bit conservative there, Ian. Perhaps. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
Still 2 overs after this.
Price is going to come around the wicket now to Gregory, who smashes that one to long on. And a misfield, they're going to come back for a second. And Been a few misfields from Gloucestershire and from some good fielders as well. Charlesworth, Tom Smith, Miles Hammond, they're Gloucestershire's best fielders. Price around the wicket. That's gone up in the air. That is going to be... Oh, Zaffar's dropped it on the fence. And again, he's one of Gloucestershire's best fielders. You don't expect to see that from Zafar Gahar. Gloucestershire having a miserable evening at the office.
And could have been another wicket for Ollie Price too.
There you go, talking about the mound stand. It's a big hit out there, isn't it? Price. Dixon gets that out to Tom Smith, who gets his body behind it. Just the one. Ironic cheers from the Somerset fans here. Dixon plays that one out to Zafar. Again, more ironic cheers for from those who've travelled up the M5. That's 198 at the end of the 18th over.
I mean, we discussed at the outset that the group seemed to be splitting into three, and you said about the haves and the have-nots. There's the Manhattan with some very, very big numbers just after the power play, indeed at the end of the power play. And tonight would suggest at the moment that we can see why one team is at the top and one team is in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's, you know, cricket is, you see it in the county championship as well. I know Somerset aren't putting up any trees in the county championship, but you see it with Surrey there, and sport is becoming about who's got the fattest wallet.
Well, David Payne's going to bowl the 19th over rather than the 20th, and here he is. Well, that's slung into the leg side by Gregory, and Smith hasn't got to it, and they've come back for two. He took his hand off the bat as he looped that away into the leg side. Somerset's 200 up. Smith doing his best to reach it. He kind of got caught between two stools. Wasn't sure whether to go for the catch or go for the stop. In the end, he was helped out. And Somerset have got to 200 with 11 balls left. Gregory with Payne bowling a slightly wider one from close to the stumps.
There's a gentleman splendidly dressed down there. He's in a shirt, a cowboy hat.
I'm glad he's in a shirt, Dan.
A tie, shorts and sandals, but they're like sort of Hawaiian shorts. Yeah, he's down in the Jack Russell stand below us.
David Payne turns at the end of his run, bowls to skipper Gregory. Again, that's gone aerial and away to wide long on for four. Everybody in the Somerset batting order has got into double figures tonight.
Yeah, Somerset fans enjoying themselves as well as a group at the back of the mound stand.
Payne, that's pitched up. It could be a catch for Wells. Somebody needs to call for this. Oh, and there's been a collision between Wells and Zafar, both going for the same ball.
Zafar's injured.
Zafar coming onto it, Wells coming back towards his teammate.
We don't like to see that.
And there will be a stoppage.
We don't like to see that at all.
That happened. It was a collision in I think one of the Sussex matches earlier in the week. Exactly the same situation where two fielders go for the same ball. If there was a call, one didn't hear it, and Zafar Gahar,
sickening collision,
lying on his back. Wells is on his feet, and there may well be a lengthy stoppage here
Yeah.
in the 19th over.
Some poor cheering as well from a group over in the mound stand there, which we don't like to see.
I mean, it is a simple rule, even in the club game, isn't it? If you've got a ball going high in the air and there are two fielders, somebody needs to call.
You have to call, and generally it's the man coming forward onto the ball. I mean, we've seen some horror ones, haven't we? We saw Steve Waugh and Jason Gillespie out in India, where Gillespie broke his leg, didn't he? And Steve Waugh, I think, was knocked unconscious. But this doesn't look good, and we can only pray for Zafar here.
Yeah, I don't think it was head to head, but it may have been sort of head to shoulder of Wells looking at the ball, not looking at the fielder, and Zafar also looking at the ball and not looking at his colleague. And umpires Baldwin and Warren just coming out to see how Zafar is. He hasn't moved, he's been laying on his back with
Jamie Thorpe's out there with Kirk Russell as well.
his.
Jamie Thorpe, the Somerset physio's come out,
Yeah,
which is a really nice touch.
He is just moving his legs, which is good to see. What we don't know, obviously, at this point is whether
He's sitting up.
he actually got knocked out or not there, but the inference seemed to be that he's landed really awkwardly, possibly on the back of his neck. And I think the absolutely guaranteed situation from here is that Zafar will walk off the field.
Yeah, he's on his feet, getting a warm round of applause here.
I can't see how, with 8 balls to go, there is any sense in him staying out there.
No, Lewis Gregory coming over, seeing he's all right as well. That's a nice touch.
Does he want to carry on? He may want to carry on, but what would the physio advise him to do?
Well, I think in the days of concussion, I don't know whether it's concussion or neck or...
No, he's walking off, and that's
a
got to be
sensible
the right call. He may not want to go off, but they've got to check him over. When you're running at not an inconsiderable pace, I appreciate he wasn't sprinting, but he was coming onto the ball, looking for the catch. Neither he or Wells took it, by the way, which is kind of immaterial in this situation. But Zafar's going off, and I would think Zaman Akhtar is probably going to come out and field
he is. He's
as a sub
out
for him already.
He's out deep cover. But it brings to mind, if that is a concussion, you can bring on a substitute there. So if Zafar can't bat, you saw Chris Dent change. I don't know if he's down as sort of the 12th or 13th man, or...
He's certainly on the ground today. He was involved in...
Yeah, he was changed and warming up with the guys, so it would be interesting. It's an interesting scenario. The law changed a couple of years ago, didn't it?
So 2 balls to go in the 19th over. David Perrin, that's chopped away. There's immediate action for Zaman Akhtar, and they're going to come back for 2. It's a good throw from him, actually. It's the applause from James Bracey. Zaman took a couple of catches in the win over Middlesex, and he's fielded as a sub for Grant Roloffson. The last thing Gloucestershire would want is to lose Zafar for any length of time in any format at the moment. Payne then to finish his spell for the day. Oh, and it's attempted reverse sweep, and James Bracey didn't take it cleanly.
Yeah, it came off the bat. No, nothing signalled from the umpire.
So Payne finishes with, actually, considering what's gone on around him, very, very good figures. He's finished with 0 for 26 from his 4 overs.
Yeah, that's
not 0 for 25, sorry, I can't add up. And the last over will be bowled by Danny Lamb. And Somerset absolutely in the pound seats at the moment, with this scoreline built on that Grand Prix kind of start they got from Banton and Smeed.
They're not just in the pound seats here, and they're at a yacht at the Monaco Grand Prix, I tell you. Here's Danny Lamb to bowl the last over, out the back of the hand. That has gone a long way up in the air, and it's got enough legs to get over the rope. 6 runs. Big shot there.
13th 6 of the innings.
Dixon this time. He's supposed to be the quiet one.
Yeah.
Lamb tucking Dixon up for room there. That's better. It's gone out to long on. They're going to come back for a 2 on the misfield. Throw comes in and Gregory gets home.
Somerset have scored 144 runs in boundaries.
Wow.
That's a massive percentage, isn't
It's
it?
huge. It's huge. I mean, this has been an unbelievable innings. That's almost taken out Lewis Gregory. He's only going to get 1 though, because that's really well fielded by Ollie Price out in the deep.
And I don't know what an average proportion of runs in boundaries would be, but I'll bet it's not somewhere sort of 65%. Not very often.
Yeah, you're the stats man, and you should know these things. You should know these things, mate. Lem's going to come around the wicket. The queue for the beer tent has actually got bigger. Oh, that's gone between bat, pad, and goes through for 4 byes. And that pushes the score over that 220 mark. Gloucestershire will be bitterly disappointed with this. Somerset, I feel, have already pushed it too far out of Gloucestershire's reach.
Yeah, and this on Dale Benkenstein's birthday as well. Hardly a nice present for him.
Oh, that's gone for 6 as well. That's a full toss on leg stump, and that's just helped round the corner there by Lewis Gregory. And that is the 50 partnership as well, I believe. Yeah, it is.
See, Surrey got 236 at Cardiff on Wednesday, and they won by 65, which is that's a big win when the Morgan is still getting 171.
That's gone out into the deep. That's going to be 4, 1 bounce, and that completes the innings. 2-3-1 for 4. This has been a bad day at the office for the Gloucestershire bowlers, but take nothing away from Somerset. Dixon ends up on 28 not out, Lewis Gregory on 30 not out. But the start of the innings was that blistering start from Will Smeed, 94, which is 35 balls.
Yes, Danny Lamb finishing with 3 overs for 53. Takes me back to that was a white ball game at Cheltenham, and Andy Babington had figures like that, and you almost had that as down as unbelievable at that stage, because people just didn't do that. Carl Hooper, I think, took him to the cleaners on that day. But 231 for 4 with only 8 extras.
Look at that Manhattan there. Some of those big overs, 22s, 24s. It's really cost Gloucestershire. It was 9th and 10th though, which went, I think, for... Well, sorry, it was the 6th and 7th, which went for 24 and then 15. And that just set the tone, didn't it?
And I say, overs 5 to 10 cost 84, and that's just far too many.
It's unacceptable.
The acceleration provided by Smeed at the top of the order, 94 he made, caught by Matt Taylor off Zaffer. 94 of 35 balls with 8 fours and 8 sixes. Banton supported him. He made 26, was out almost straight afterwards. But then those that followed kept applying the same pressure. Cola Cavill made 30 of 15. Abel, a runner ball 15, almost looks pedestrian against the rest. And then Dixon and Gregory came together at 173 for 4 with 4 overs to go. So they added 57 in the last 4 overs. The bowling figures: Payne 4 overs for 25, Matt Taylor 4 overs 1 for 33, Zaffa 4 overs 2 for 44, and then really the damage elsewhere. Tom Smith 2 overs for 36, Danny Lamb 3 overs for 53, Jack Taylor 1 over for 18, Ollie Price 2 overs 1 for 18. It might have been 2 wickets, but there was a drop from Zaffa, and we hope that he is going to be okay to bat after colliding with Ben Wells. We'll take a short break and then we'll be back with you for the Gloucestershire chase of 232 to win.
Welcome back to part 2. I think we've just caught our breath here at the Seat Unique Stadium. Gloucestershire have to chase 232 to win a target that is surely beyond them. The umpires, Paul Baldwin and Russell Warren, make their way out to the middle, and Somerset follow them in a different shirt this year, I believe, they've got a batting shirt and a bowling shirt, and you can only hope that is for charity, one of them. Otherwise, it's a lot of money to ask parents for, isn't it, for the kids? Ian Randall's with me, Dan Whiting. Ian, what did you make of the first 20 overs of this game?
I can tell you that it's Somerset's highest score in Bristol, apparently, in the T20.
Yeah.
Not a surprise.
No, not a surprise.
They've just beaten Essex for the highest score of the night, because Essex got 225 at Cardiff, which
wowzers,
is going to take some chasing. And here, Gloucestershire come out with, we were told, Miles Hammond and Ben Wells, and that's who it is. And Hammond, well, we've seen him go at express pace in some innings, but tend to get to 30 and get out.
Yeah, well, he took 24 off the first over in this game, didn't he, with 4 sixes?
Well, that's the sort of knock that Gloucestershire need tonight, but they need a 30 to become an 80. And he needs to replicate what Smead did. Somerset got to slip in. Craig Overton's going to bowl from this Ashley Down Road end to Ben Wells, and Wells is beaten by that, and it's taken by Tom Banton. Wells, of course, had a trial at Somerset and a trial at Gloucestershire when he signed 2 summers ago, but this tonight is his first game in the Blast.
Craig Overton slipped out the England reckoning, hasn't he? Josh Tongue seems to have usurped him. Matty Potts seems to have usurped him.
Overton in, and Wells tries to go with a scoop down the leg side, taken again by Banton. Tongue would be quicker than Overton, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
I would have thought.
Tongue touched 91, didn't he, in the Ireland game on occasions. So
you want the extra pace, that's why you go for him.
Yeah.
And he's much younger as well, so more of his career ahead of him. 232 the target. Overton to Wells, and Gloucestershire away with a single out to Josh Davey at mid-on. You can see the rate, it's as good as 12 as makes no odds.
Yeah, I mean, you know, even in the last 5 overs, when the rate gets up to 12, it's an ask, isn't it? But to do it for 20 overs.
Yeah, there has to be an absolute blitz from somebody.
From everybody, I think.
And they can't leave it very long either. That's the other thing. Smead and Banton, overs 5 to 10 were where they went for it. So here is Hammond to face Overton, and again that's reasonable length outside the off stump, and Hammond is inside the line.
See, Somerset now have got, you know, up their sleeves where they can push their men to the edge of the ring. They don't mind ones aren't an issue. If Gloucestershire just, you know, take ones, they get 36 off the power play. It's probably not going to be enough.
Hammond again waits for Overton, and that's glanced away for 4, possibly off the pad. There was some bat in that, so nothing Ben Green could do, and Gloucester get their first boundary. They'll need plenty more of those. Overton from the Ashley Down Road end, running away from our commentary position. Into Hammond, he won't pierce the field there. Straight to Van der Merwe. So 5 off the first over, but Gloucestershire with so much to do, and dare one say, Dan, so little time to do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They can't procrastinate here. Josh Davies going to take us away from the pavilion end.
Just a detail about that Surrey score. We talk about the dominance of money in the South Group. So the Essex score, I should say, at Cardiff. 226 for 9 they got. And Paul Walter there made 78. 6 sixes for him too.
That's crunched away by Ben Wells. 4 runs through the offside. Right, we want to give a shout out to 3 massive Gloucestershire fans who are tuning in from around the world. There's Trez in Switzerland, there's Reese in the Welsh Valleys, and Smudger in Swindon. That can't be real. Smudger in Swindon. They were hoping to reunite at the Seat Unique Stadium for tonight, but they didn't book their tickets in advance. They're gutted, apparently, about missing it, but are loving the stream and wishing the guys all the best for the rest of the season. #Go Gloss. Here's Ben Wells as he just nurdles that one into the onside. Bashir doing the fielding down there. So I hope you're enjoying the stream. Should have got your tickets, chaps. Schoolboy error.
Well, bearing in mind that they're pretty widespread, Dan, perhaps that was the problem.
Well, Smudger in Swindon could have nipped down the M4.
Good, I get that. Forced for saving a single for Hammond.
Hammond smashes that one over the ropes, over mid-wicket, and that's 6 runs. And I'll tell you what, Somerset were only 13 for none at 2 overs. Gloucestershire are ahead of where they are in the game. Small crumbs and all that, Ian Randall, you know, small crumbs.
Yeah, that was not over Dixon in front of the board by that much, actually, from Miles Hammond. It wasn't as quite as... It was plenty long enough, that hit, but it wasn't that far above Dixon's head. And he's enjoying a bit of chat with those close behind him, behind the boundary boards.
Davey approaching the crease. Oh, Hammond doesn't get hold of that one. It just squirts into the offside.
I don't know what his snooker's like, but that definitely, he didn't get the right spin on the ball there.
No. Ooh, almost ended with the cue ball in the bulk cushion there, Ian. Hammond goes for a big swing, and it goes through to Tom Banton. Big man for a wicket keeper, isn't he, Tom Banton?
Yeah, I mean, Somerset don't need to get too funky with the disciplines here. They've got so many runs to play with. It's kind of simple principles.
Had some good wicket keepers over the years, Somerset. Derek Taylor, Trevor Gard. Trevor Gard was a wonderful wicket. His batting let him down a little bit, but he was a fantastic glove man. Hammond goes over the top, and that's going to go one bounce into the boundary boards in front of the Thatcher's bar. And that's 20 off 2 overs. Rob Turner was another good wicket keeper they had. He was another big man. For a wicket keeper, and he still plays for Western Supermare. So my sources, James Healy tells me.
Twenty off 2.
Peter Trigo still at Western Supermare.
Overton to bowl his second over. Ben Wells face him. He's trying to back away and steer that away down past the slip, but doesn't get anything on it. So something that Somerset can still have a slip in the 3rd over. 4 men saving 1 on the offside. Point cover, extra cover Well, backward point, really square point. Cover and mid-off. Wells bat raised, waits, he's got a big edge on that, and he slashed it high over Ben Green for 4. Well, the one shot he played off Davey, the crack off the back foot, is very much one of his favourite shots. This one was just off a thick outside edge.
Gloucestershire fan Matthew Lee loving it down there at third.
24 for no wicket. Overton in, and Wells pulls him straight to mid-wicket. Catch taken. Van der Merwe with it, and Wells goes. Well, that was a slightly slower ball from Overton, not sure. But he got it right off the bottom of the bat, didn't time it at all. And Van der Merwe picks up the catch. And the left-handers are going to continue down this middle order. Gloucestershire bringing in Ben Wells for Grant Rudolphson, which is a right-hander for a right-hander. And he has to depart on his debut.
Is it Bracey?
And it's Ben Charlesworth.
Oh, Charlie.
In at number 3. So Charlesworth pushed up the order. Ollie Price has been at 3, but he's got a chance here to again show what he can do in a slightly different situation.
He's got this shot, Ben Charlesworth, but he sort of just shovels it leg side and it goes for 6.
Overton to hold to him. And that's straight up to mid-off. Davey does make the stop.
He just sort of hardly,
no
he
run.
just sort of works the pace of the ball and it goes over the ropes. He's done that on a few occasions this year. Last 14 knocks, 750s for Ben Charlesworth. Got a couple, I think he got 150 against Somerset last year in the county championship game.
There's a man out at deep square, and Charlesworth tries to clear him and doesn't get a touch, which was just as well.
What's important for Gloucestershire here is they get bat on ball, they score, especially in this power play, they score at every opportunity.
Slippers come out. Gregory now at mid-on. Overton to Charlesworth. He used his feet there. He's got that through, and that will go away to the extra cover boundary for 4 in that gap on the shorter side of the ground. And the loss of Wells, the damage in that over for Gloucestershire. But they have got to the end of it at 24 for 1, and that's exactly 28 for 1, I should say. Somerset were 24 for no wicket at this point, but things got a bit more lively after that, shall we say.
Is it Lewis Gregory coming into the attack?
Just one over from Davey. It cost 15.
Here's Gregory. Hammond plays that one firmly out to mid-off. We hope Zafar Gahar is okay. It was a bad collision between him and Ben Wells, and we can only hope you're all right, Zaf. Very popular man down here in Bristol. They're going to scamper through for 1, and a Merv there, extra cover.
Somerset look very calm out in the field, Dan, don't they? Which is understandable.
Yeah, if you've got 230 odd in the bank, you'd be, you know, it's...
They don't look flustered in any way.
No, they don't. They don't. And they know that, you know, even Gloucestershire might get close, but really it's going to take something amazing to win this one. As Charlesworth plays that out to mid-wicket.
The game at Taunton last year, I think so Gloucestershire lost by 7 in the end, but it felt like one of those ones where they were always just short. They were never quite in front of the rate.
It's a shame, really, because it's a big crowd in tonight. Quicker ball there from Gregory, just varying his pace.
Hammond took a step back, and that's why it wasn't given as a wide by umpire Baldwin. I had a message from somebody watching the stream at half distance.
Gregory again, and Gloucestershire need to get bat on ball here. That's what's the most important thing, because you get it past the field and it's 4 runs. The outfield is like glass.
And all the message said was, I don't know what to say. And I think there will be a few Gloucestershire fans who are a bit bemused at half distance about what they'd watched.
Gregory, and Hammond goes over the top, and that's gone into the car park. 6 runs. Certainly got hold of that one.
Yeah, good clean hit from Hammond off the last ball of the over.
And both sides are on 36 after their 4th over. In fact, the next over only went for 2, so Somerset were 38 for none. But that was when the carnival began.
Yeah, it did, with Smead getting 94, 8 6s and 8 4s. Overton's going to continue. He might even bowl through, actually. He'd been just spoken about as being a doubt before the game, so Somerset might decide that the best thing to do is when he's warm to keep him going. Umpires are happy that the ball is okay, having gone into the car park off the last ball of Gregory's last over. Here's Overton then for his 3rd over. Charlesworth to face, and gets on top of that, and he gives it to Ben Green at mid-wicket.
He's got a wonderful moustache, Ben Green, hasn't he? He looks like, remember Hello Hello with the 2 airmen? I think they were called Fairfax and Carstairs. I'm not sure if he's Fairfax or Carstairs, but splendid moustache.
Just dropping out to the edge of the circle. Overton staying around the wicket to Charlesworth. That's gone a long way. Has that gone all the way for 6? Yes, it has. Russell Warren, more practice for arm raising. That's probably the longest boundary on that side of the ground as well, but
there's that shot from Charlesworth.
Not a directionally good ball from Overton.
There's that shot. It's just a little pick-up on the leg side, and he normally gets it squarer than that, but same result, 6 runs.
So we're still in the power play. There is a man out at deep point, a deep backward square, but that's all they've got. And this time Charlesworth tries to get over Davey, and he has managed it. And that will go over the fielder at wide, mid-off, and all the way for 4. Just about got enough on that.
Yeah, he didn't hit that cleanly.
The pickup was clean off the ball before, but that was not quite the same. He gave himself room, but it was a bit inside out, and he just about got enough on it. Overton staying around the wicket. Charlesworth goes for the pickup again. That's a big hit. That's 6 more. So Overton getting a bit of tap here. And it wouldn't have mattered where the field was for that shot. Gloucestershire 50 up in the 5th over. Overton again. Charlesworth just plays a little push out on the offside, having in, backed away, trying to make room. Had to make do with one.
Give a big shout out to Jamie Brown, young lad watching at home with his dad Steve. His uncle Andrew's at the game, and hope you're enjoying it, Jamie. Are we on for a cracker here, mate?
Overton to Hammond. Inside out once more. That'll be 4 more. And Gloucestershire having a big 5th over here. They started it on 36 and they've taken 21 from it.
Alfred likes it.
Need 3 or 4 more of those to make it interesting. Overton in the slot for Hammond once he got the front leg out of the way. So this is Ben Green coming on, second highest wicket taker in the tournament at the moment, behind Nathan Souter at Durham. So will his golden arm apply the break here or not? Can the 2 left-handers keep this going?
Here he comes in, and he bowls a slower ball there to Charlesworth, who just about picks it. Ben Green's the Somerset cricketer, and not Tucker Jenkins' mate in Grange Hill. Do you remember that, Ian? Or was that sort of, are you too old for that?
I do.
Benny Green.
I do remember Grange Hill, but I wouldn't say I was an avid watcher.
Here's Green into Charlesworth, who again foxes in with a slightly slower delivery. The key to this game is Van der Merwe and Shoaib Bashir when they come into the attack. That is going to be where the game is won and lost here. Green past the umpire. It's Charlesworth again, can't pierce the field. That's 3 dot balls.
Yeah, 3 back of he's back of a length, isn't he?
Yeah, clever bowling this. Just bowling discipline, you know, this is disciplined cricket. He's just bowling in the right areas, he's putting the ball in the right place, he's not giving him width to swing his arms. And you could talk about slower balls, slower bounces, etc., but the principles of cricket remain the same. Good line and length. Charlesworth just tucks that one around the corner. It's only going to be 1 though.
He's probably not bowling at a much different pace to Danny Lamb.
No.
I would suggest.
58 for 1. Charlesworth on 23. Miles Hammond on 25. Both have faced 13 balls. And that's worked round the corner. Green straying from that economic line and length.
That was a long way outside leg stump.
Yeah, it was a freebie.
Bit of a chat between Hammond and Charlesworth.
So, even after Somerset's mental 6th over, I'll come on to it at the end of the over. Hammond, he's going to get 1 here. They look for 2. That's good fielding. There. And that's 63. So, Somerset had a rather interesting 6th over, didn't they, where they got 24 off it, which took them at the end of the power play to 62 for none. Gloucestershire are 63 for 1. Have we got a game on our hands here, Ian?
Well, they have to keep going, and as you said, this is going to where it's going to get interesting. You've got a very experienced slow left armer who will bowl at what many people would call darts, flat, and you've got a young teenage off spinner coming into the attack now in only his 2nd T20 match.
Yeah, just bowled 2 overs the other night at Hampshire and went for 19. He's come through the Surrey age group system. Played a little bit for Middlesex Twos, played also for Berkshire in the national counties as well.
So how Gloucester deal with Shoaib Bashir will be interesting. Here he is. Quite tall.
Very tall.
And of course he's turning the ball, if it does turn here, away from these two left-handers. So he's bowling around the wicket, and Hammond has pitched a single off his first ball. So the field is quite well spread. He's got 3 on the offside, saving 1. He's bowling to the shorter offside boundary, and Charlesworth tries to cut him away into that gap, and he'll get 4. It's a good shot. It's a long chase around the fence there for Sean Dixon, but he couldn't haul it in.
I think it's Abel out there, isn't it? It's Abel, yeah. Abel's a brilliant fielder, but couldn't cut that one off. Too much power.
Charlesworth with Banton right in his ear. Oh, that's tossed up, and Charlesworth hit that hole high in the air. Is that going to drop safe? I think it will, and they'll get 1.
Almost another collision there between 2 players. Bashir running backwards.
Overton running forwards.
And Overton running forwards.
I think Charlesworth's eyes lit up at that full toss. And now Hammond waits for Bashir. That goes straight down the ground, but he's 1 bounce. This is how it is Dixon, and they will just get 1. He's at long off. 70 for 1 in the 7th. It's a spirited start. Bashir around the wicket. Charles, that was a slower one. He was winding himself up to go for the big hit and just checked it. And again, Somerset will be happy enough with a single up against the Dixon at long off. Bashir around the wicket. That's still down the leg side, but whipped away by Hammond for a single. They'll just pick up 1. So not a bad first over from Gloucestershire.
No,
they took 9 from it. So they're now fractionally behind where Somerset were, but the difference between the run rate and the run rate required is actually quite a bit less than I thought it might have been at this point. So fair play to these two for capitalising on the early loss of Ben Wells, caught by Van der Merwe off Overton.
And we're going to see Mr. Van der Merwe come into the attack from the pavilion end, bowling his left arm darts. We watched him play a little bit of warm-up football. He's there's a long line of wonderful Dutch players, isn't there? Johan Cruyff, Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah, he's probably at the back of the queue, is he?
He's not up there with them. It's got to be said. His first touch is lacking somewhat. Anyway, Somerset fans will be pleased if he can turn on the magic at Bristol for a 2nd year. Here he comes. Hammond's gone big, and that has gone into the club offices for a huge 6. That's one way to welcome him to the game.
Again, that's not the shortest boundary over there. He's gone just by the scoreboard. That's quite a long hit.
Here he comes around the wicket to Hammond, who plays this one in the same region but along the ground, and just picks up a single.
I mean, the question will be, at what point do Somerset get in any way concerned about this? I mean, obviously, Gloucestershire scored 10 and over, they still win.
Well, that's the thing. Pressure does funny things to sides, doesn't it? And if Gloucestershire can put them under pressure, you never know. But I still feel that Somerset have got enough in the bank. Charlesworth plays that one out to mid-wicket. Abel misfields. They're going to come back for a second. It's quite bumpy out there. And they do. Sun setting over to the west.
We've said that Somerset look quite calm in the field, Dan. I suspect that most of their supporters are quite calm as well at the moment.
I think so. That's a misfield there. And that's going to go away for 4 runs. Much to the enjoyment of this Bristol crowd. Just span away past Ben Green there at backward point. It's not the easiest field, is it? We saw some from Gloucestershire as well.
It's very, very dry.
Van der Merwe. Yorker to Charlesworth, digs that one out.
Hammond 40 off 20. Charlesworth 35 off 19. Good effort. These two have added 61 so far for the second wicket.
Van der Merwe just slowing the game down, taking his time, using all his experience as Charlesworth plays that out to long on. Hammond is interested in the second, but that's good fielding out in the deep. So 86 for 1. Let's have a look at the worm here. And Gloucestershire are 1 run ahead of where Somerset were at this stage.
Yep, still you've got to get 2 big overs for the next. The next 2 cost 37 when Gloucestershire were fielding. So they've got to get as close to that as they can, and then still keep pressing the accelerator. So Gregory back into the attack, having bowled 1 over for 8 earlier on. Ben Charlesworth on strike. Again, that's back of a length and up to Dixon. Long off for 1. I mean, Green at the start of his over and Gregory with that delivery. They're just trying to cramp these two, aren't they, Dan, for room?
Yeah, I think that's the ideal tactics. This is about disciplines now.
Gregory quite close to the stumps. Heaved away by Hammond. It will bounce short of the man at long on, and they'll only take 1.
Overton down here at long on.
The field now well spread, as you might imagine. They've got a short fine leg and a short third man, but in front of the wicket, big gaps on the leg side. 2 men in on short on the offside, saving 1. Gregory, and that's again pulled into the leg side, but not timed. So again, it's only up to Overton for a single. And Somerset saying to these two, right, if you want to hit across the line or go to the leg side, go on then. And we've got everybody out. You're not going to get out to a miscue, but it's going to take something to get over the rope. Hammond waits for Gregory, tries to again pull him, but it's the same outcome.
Might get 2 here.
It's a back of a length ball, and Gregory's quite happy to concede singles into the leg side with something that Hammond can't, or Charlesworth can't get away.
That's is that Lammonby on as a substitute fielder there? It is. Left arm.
Gregory to Charlesworth. It's off the bottom edge this time. Look at scamper through for 1 more, but that's 5 balls gone of a tidy over from Gregory. 5 singles so far. Gloucestershire need a boundary to finish it with. And 42 off 22. And he's pulled down to the leg side. Same shot. So we've had probably 4 shots exactly the same in that over.
Good bowling.
Gregory back of a length, and the Gloucestershire batters unable to really get it away. They've got singles, but that's all. And 92 for 1 off 9. I mean, in many circumstances, 92 for 1 off 9, you'd say, tremendous.
Yeah, it's good bowling there from Lewis Gregory. Bowling to his field.
They're chasing so many. They're chasing 232 to win.
Trying to see who's gone off for Somerset.
Davey is back. So Overton's bowled 3 overs for 34. This is Davey's second over. Gregory's bowled 2. Everybody else has bowled 1.
Hammond whacks him into the onside, splits the fielders down there. 4 runs. We speak about the bowling from the Ashley Down Road end is where the majority of the runs come, because the boundary's a little bit shorter here and that corner's quite short. But a lot of runs today have come from the pavilion end, haven't they? Where, you know, the ball seems to be running away across this outfield very quickly. Here's Davey into Miles Hammond, and he's smashed that. He's picked out a fielder. A yard either side of him there. He hit it so cleanly, a yard either side. And that would have been Miles Hammond's 50.
Yeah, he's made 4 50s in T20 cricket before. Highest score 63. Gloucestershire would need him to go a long way beyond that today, you'd feel.
Charlesworth, he finds that gap out there. He's going to come back for a second, and Hammond's quick, he gets back.
By the time the fielder's got there and got the throw in, it's long enough, that boundary, that you're turning before the fielder's got the ball in his hand. So there is almost one on the arm.
Charlesworth, that's gone up in the air, that's going to be out. And that is the end of Ben Charlesworth for a bright and breezy 41.
Yeah, I think Craig Overton's been getting some stick from those in front of the Thatchers, and he turned around and gave them some stick back there after he'd taken that catch. There we are.
There we go.
I think that was his response, and Charlesworth has to go. But 41 is. His reputation as being more than just a championship player is blossoming, I think you can say.
Definitely.
He's made, a contribution in 3 of these games now this season. And Ollie Price coming out at number 4.
Yeah, he's had a decent T20.
He's batted in several different scenarios now as well.
Yeah, he has.
He's come in after a crumble at the top of the order and sort of pulled an innings round. And here he's been asked to go in and play shots from ball 1.
Yeah, I think he needed a right-hander. I think you had to split up the 2 lefties just to try and throw Somerset off their line and length. Here's Davey into him, first ball. And Davey's claiming the catch, and Price is walking. I thought that was a bump ball. Let's have a look at this again. He's got a leading edge. It's a great catch in his follow-through. Fantastic catch. I thought it was a bump ball, and he's actually got a leading edge. Ollie Price has to go. First ball, caught and bowled by Josh Davey. With a score on 99.
And Jack Taylor's coming out to keep the right and left hand combinations together.
Skipper's innings needed here.
Yeah, well, Jack Taylor, his best innings in this tournament, not this season, but this tournament, was in a quarter-final against Durham, where Gloucestershire were way behind the game, and he made 80 almost single-handedly, keeping them in some kind of contention until late on, and that's the sort of innings that's needed here.
We spoke about the haves and the have-nots. I mean, Somerset have put Josh Davey out on loan to Leicestershire. They put Jack Brooks out on loan. He went to Worcestershire, now he's at Nottinghamshire. And, they've managed to rest Matt Henry even for this game as well. It's an embarrassment of riches they've got. Here's Davey on a hat-trick. Taylor plays him into the offside, and that's the 100 up for Gloucestershire at the end of the 10th over.
100 for 3. This day Somerset were 122 for 1, so this is where the acceleration had come. It was checked a little bit for a couple of overs, but not much, and then it was fired off again later on. So young Shoaib Bashir to come back with 2 wickets having fallen from this Ashley Down Road end. And the rate, as you can see, is up over 13.
Taylor will target him here.
He's bowling to the short boundary. And that's a really slow delivery, and Taylor's just chopped that away into the offside. It's a simple thing, but you're asking the batsman to make all the pace on the shot. If Bashir is going to play it, you're going to bowl very gently. Now Hammond needs 2 for his 50. He's almost going at 2 runs a ball at the moment. Bashir to bowl to him. Almost a full toss. He'll get 1. Out to Dixon, that's all there'll be. That boundary is the sort of length that is a comfortable one, but it's never quite 2. Overton and Dixon switch places. For Bashir to Jack Taylor, who's gone big, and that's gone into the stand. That's gone into the family stand for 6 runs. Into Michael Klinger corner, as we'll call it.
Well, they might have put the taller man Overton at long on, but they can't put him on the 3rd floor of the flats.
Taylor's played this ground often enough. He'll know where you need to attack and where you can attack, and indeed who you might attack. And this young man, inexperienced as he is, might be the one to do it. That's tossed up outside the off stump, and Taylor will only get 1. Up to Dixon, and again he and Overton change places. Miles Hammond needs a single for his 50. 5 4s and 3 6s at the moment, and that's punched straight to Lewis Gregory. You won't get the single there. Bashir past umpire Warren, and he will get it now. Diving stop will only bring 1, and a good bit of fielding from Gregory. So 50 for Miles Hammond. 28 balls, and I say his 5th 50 in T20 cricket. He's got a best of 63, and how much further can he go tonight? Lost his run rate, as you can see, over 11 overs. He's not too shabby, but they are facing such a big total, 232, and it's now more than 2 a ball.
It's imposing, isn't it? That's what it is, imposing.
And Ben Green just bowled the 1 over. So if Van der Merwe bowls 1 over for 14 and Green is brought back, Somerset have got 6 frontline bowlers they can use here.
Hammond smashes that one. Out to deep backward square, but can only get 1. Picks out the fielder. Nelson.
Now Jack Taylor, he's got to come to the party pretty quickly here if his side are going to have a chance of getting somewhere close to this.
There he goes, smashes that one into mid-wicket. Oh, and it's a misfield. But they don't run on it. Taylor moves into double figures of just 5 balls.
So he's batting at 5. James Bracey would bat at 6. I suppose Danny Lamb. The question is then whether Zafar Gahar will bat. We don't know after that collision he had earlier on in the field with Ben Wells.
Green in. Hammond pumps him into the onside there. Misfield. And they come back for a second. Tom Abel out there on the bumpy ground.
Yeah, I think it's quite worn towards both boundaries, but that's not as bad, I say bad in relative terms, as the area in front of the main stand, which is very worn on one or two of the practice wickets.
That's gone big. Overton can't reach that one. It's gone into the crowd. Miles Hammond in destructive mood here.
Well, he's certainly having a go at this, Hammond. The question is whether somebody else can strike the ball as cleanly as he has done on now 4 occasions to clear the rope.
112 off 8.1, I think it is. And that's a dot ball. 8.2 it might be.
Yeah, one ball left in this over.
Oh, I'm all excited now, and I've lost the ability to count.
You're an umpire. Are you umpiring tomorrow?
No, I'm not.
No.
I haven't got my clicker with me. Hammond plays that. He's going to find the gap. He's going to get 2 here. That's clever cricket. So that completes the 12th over. 122 for 3. Gloucestershire need 110 off 8. Miles Hammond's on 61. Jack Taylor's on 10. As the sun sets here at Bristol. Lovely sight out there. Out to the west.
So Van der Merwe coming back from this Ashley Down road end. So young Shoaib Bashir has bowled 2 overs for 19, and there is the scene out to the right of our commentary position. So floodlights are on. It's 9:15 very nearly. Even if the floodlights were off, I think you'd probably still be playing. Now then, Van der Merwe to Jack Taylor. Again with this short straight boundary, teasing Taylor potentially. It's gone with a backward point and an extra cover on the offside, saving 1. Behind the square there is a man at short third man, but only 2 in front of square. And Taylor, it's a haymaker from outside the off stump. And stretching too far to get much power in that, so it's just a single out to Tom Abel.
Yeah, I think Somerset have bowled on a much more disciplined line. Gloucestershire have had to work harder for their runs, I feel, than Somerset had to. Take nothing away from Smead because he made them bowl, he induced the errors.
Hammond waits for Van der Merwe. That's high in the air, it's going out towards long on, and it's taken by Overton, and Hammond falls short of his career best in the T20. He goes for 61. Overton comfortably takes the catch, didn't have to move very far, and Hammond's given it a decent attempt there to try and keep this rate going at the rate he started at, 61 off 34. But in view of the carnage of earlier, it still feels it's going to be quite a long way short. James Bracey out at number 6.
Miles Hammond just getting too much elevation on that.
But it's just the spotlight of needing to score so heavily in boundaries every single over to keep your team in contention. So Bracey then on strike to Van der Merwe, and he gets a thick inside edge to get him away with a single. Somerset seemed to have Riley Russo last year, scoring heavily for them on a regular basis. They all seem to find somebody who can pull a performance out. Jack Taylor goes straight down the ground off a full toss, and that's gone straight to Overton as well. Well, that's in fact that's Dixon down there.
Was it Dixon or no?
No, it is Dixon. Yeah, 58. So Jack Taylor has to go, and that was a well-judged catch. Actually, that was probably going at a fair old rate.
Yeah, I think
it's a flat hit. And here comes Danny Lamb at number 7. I'm not convinced Africa Haas going to bat here.
No, I'm not either.
That's just a hunch, because I wonder whether Zaffa might have come out ahead of Lamb. But he hasn't. And it's 124 for 5. Remember that stat that Dan gave you earlier on? I just might repeat it at the end of the over. There's 2 balls left in the over. Just a full toss, and Lamb chops that out to backward point. Yeah, the stat was that if you want to get into the quarterfinals under this format, every team that has won 8 matches has actually reached the knockout stages. Van der Merwe in again. Oh, and Lamb's bowled, is he? He's not, but goodness me, that was very close.
Bowled him as well. I thought he'd bowled him. Banton whips off the bails there.
I couldn't believe he hadn't bowled him. And Somerset, with the departure briskly of Taylor and Hammond to Van der Merwe, have taken a grip on this.
Yeah, I think he's going to need a miracle now. So Bashir is going to come back from the pavilion end. Rangy off spinner.
So if Gloucestershire do end up losing this game, which looks likely now, then they will have to win 5 out of 7. Realistically.
Here he comes around the wicket to Bracey. Big turn there. Big turn. We saw Charlesworth get stumped there off the bowling of Josh De Caires at Middlesex on Sunday. And that was another one that spanned sharply from outside the off stump.
It was quite wide, not given as a wide, but
no, it wasn't a wide. It just turned. Bracey just puts one down the ground.
And from a Somerset perspective, there's nothing to be lost here by bowling the young spinner.
No,
they've got so many runs in the bank that if you want to give him experience in this format, well, there's no better opportunity when you've got a stack of runs to defend. Still 107 more. 6 overs and 4 balls to go.
Bashir in, Lamb reverses. Misses it. Lamb yet to score. It's his 4th ball. Cuts that one away, just gets the 1. Lamb here on loan from Lancashire. Preston lad.
Yeah, Glamorgan making quite a good fist of chasing that big Essex total of 227. They're 137 for 2 after 13.
Bracey reverses, misses it.
So those are the other 2 teams you'd think Gloucestershire are competing with for potentially this 4th place in the table. Both started the night with 8.
Bashir slow, that's gone straight down the throat of Tom Abel. That's out. Bashir has taken his first wicket for Somerset. And I think at 126 for 6, the fat lady is warming up her vocal cords, Ian Randall.
Yeah, well, she may be, but Zafar Haas coming out to bat. I'm moderately surprised, but
that's a good sign, though.
Yep, I think that, I'm sure that is Zaffa. It is coming out at number 8. But with a championship game starting on Sunday, in which he would almost certainly have a very big role to play, at least Gloucestershire will be glad to see him out there well enough to bat.
Bracey on a hiding to nothing there, really. He had to go for it. That completes the over as well. Just 2 runs off it and a wicket.
Van der Merwe with 6 overs to go. To Lamb, who goes straight down the ground to Overton. Underarms the ball in. Part of this might be about almost damage limitation here. If you're not going to win, don't let the net run rate get too much of a hit. Gloucestershire found that was a problem at Kent when they lost heavily, so you don't want to lose by 80 runs here. Try and get it down as far as you can. Zaffa goes down the ground, having wound himself up for a big drive. Van der Merwe gets a finger to it, so they'll just get 1, and once again you've got the shuffle between Dixon and Overton at long on and long off respectively. Now I'm batting in his tangerine cricket shoes. I wonder where he got those from.
Can't be a Blackpool fan from Preston.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. Van der Merwe to Lamb. Oh, that's got to be a wide outside the off stump. That's very wide. Get them in extras? I don't think so. Clubbed away by Lamb up to Sean Dixon. Van der Merwe 2 wickets and a catch.
Craig Overton playing up to the crowd down here in front of us. I don't know whether that's winding up the Gloucestershire fans or having a bit of fun with his own fans down at Somerset.
Van der Merwe to Zaffa. Oh, that's gone under his bat and past the gloves of Banton as well, untidily for a bye. Green back out to extra cover. Lamb goes in the air once more. That should be Dixon's. He's underneath it and he takes the catch, and Van der Merwe is having a, as usual, dare one say, against Gloucestershire, he's having a big influence on the game. He's teasing the Gloucestershire lower order and they're having to be aggressive, and they're going aerial and they're picking at the fielders every time.
Yeah, Danny Lamb just under so much scoreboard pressure there. He had to come in and go for it from ball 1 and still used up 7 balls for his 3. This could be a 70 or an 80 run job here, I think.
That's the danger. Matt Taylor in at number 9. See, Gloucestershire at halfway were 100 for 3. Not out of the game at that stage, but there's not been much since. Really, it's been too aggressive. Here's Van der Merwe with 3 wickets now. It was a full toss and punched away by Matt Taylor for a single.
I mean, Van der Merwe's just like, he hasn't really turned it. He just puts it on the spot. And, you know, scoreboard pressure has just got to Gloucestershire, as we thought it might. You know, 2-3-2 is a mammoth total.
So, if this game pans out as we think it will, Essex will go to 10 points, They'll be behind Hampshire on run rate. Same games played. They'll be joining, in fact, they've joined Surrey and Hampshire on 10 points.
Bashir in, and that's sliced away over backward point. Tom Abel running around there doing the fielding. 2 to Matt Taylor. I believe that his power hitting was rather good in practice yesterday. Let's see if it works. We've smashed that one down the ground, but he's only going to get 1 for it.
This is young Bashir's last over. 1 for 21 off the first 3. Yes, that 1 over from Overton that went for 21 has been the one really big over Gloucestershire have had.
Zaffa pumps that one out to long on.
The atmosphere rather more mellow down than it was earlier on.
Yeah. That's gone up in the air. That's going to be another wicket. It's just catching practice now.
Dixon again.
Dixon again. Bashir takes his 2nd wicket. And the end is nigh.
So Dixon now has 3 catches, and Van der Merwe has 3 wickets and a catch in the field. And there is the tale of where Gloucestershire got to with some kind of chance. Maybe at 9 overs they were not out of the game at that stage, even with the pressure that's been applied. David Payne's coming in at number 10.
Yeah,
but
it's Payne.
Once Hammond and Charlesworth were split, there's been nothing in the middle order.
David Payne plays that one down the ground. Gloucestershire's, well, Somerset's Facebook page is quite an interesting one actually, because when they lose, they're the worst team ever in history, and when they win, they're on a par with the Brazil 1970 World Cup side. That's gone up in the air, that's out as well. Zaffa goes 137 for 9.
This has been quite a tumble here.
Caught by Green.
Yeah, 99 for 2 they were.
Yeah.
And I get the fact that they've had to score quickly ever since the first ball was delivered by Craig Overton. They've had no choice to do that. And now they're in danger of being bowled out before the 20 overs are up.
Yeah, they certainly are. Crowd's starting to filter out now as well. We said the game would be turn on the spinners here, and it certainly has. Van der Merwe with 3 wickets, Bashir with 3 have spun Somerset to victory after that imposing first innings total.
Yeah, Bashir 3 for 26 from his 4 overs. This is Van der Merwe's last over, and Gloucestershire's last pair are together. They've got 4 overs left. David Payne to face. He's clubbed that into the offside straight to Green. No timing and a dot ball. The thing about this tournament is that there are always other chances, but Gloucestershire have got a lot to do from here. Van der Merwe tries to York Payne, he's dug out. But realistically, they've got to win 5 of the remaining 7. The last 3 are all away. one at Taunton, one at the GS Bowl and one at Hove. Payne goes back and gets a single out on the offside. He doesn't bat very much in T20 cricket, David Payne. He doesn't bat for 4 overs very often, that's for sure. But he may have a chance to do that here. So Gloucestershire's next match in the tournament is a run of 3 home games: Kent, Hampshire and Sussex, starting on the 17th. Smith works that away into the leg side. He'll pick up 1. Basically, Dan, those 3 games are must win, all 3.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've still got to go to Hampshire then as well and win.
Yeah, and you've got to go to Cardiff and win as well, actually. That's probably the key game, because that's against the team that's around you. Van der Merwe, again, almost another Yorker. As Payne digs out, he'll get 1.
Or you've got to go to Taunton and win.
Yeah.
That's on the 23rd of June?
2016, no, not. They did win 2016. I think they won 2020 as well, actually. They did the double that year. But this will be a 5th win in a row for Somerset against Gloucestershire. And Smith will get a single again off Van der Merwe, who has completed his stint with 3 wickets tonight. And he may be 38, but he's still making a contribution in this format. And Somerset have not let that defeat at Hampshire in a tight finish disrupt their inexorable progress, it seems, towards a quarter-final place. It will be 7 wins out of 8 after tonight. And Lewis Gregory's going to come back and try and finish it from the pavilion end.
Crowd here enjoying Sweet Caroline. Slightly younger crowd on the balconies of the flats here in Bristol than you get in Taunton.
Yeah, it's Ben Green, actually.
It's Ben Green. Nearly a corn bowl there, but just evades Green. And 1 down the ground to long off. The game snuffed out now.
Meandering, you would say.
Oh, meandering, wandering. There's 1 to Payne.
He's playing for his average, which is 4, by the way.
It's a shame for such a big crowd here, though. You know, they didn't see more of a spectacle. See maybe the game that we had last year without the rain. Here's Green and Smith hoiks that one.
I mean, if you're a fan of the visitors, then they would say, well, what's wrong with watching Will Smead bat for half an hour like he did?
No, I mean, it was a privilege to watch, actually, that knock. But it has killed the game as a spectacle. But he's done exactly the job his side wanted him to do, and you know, you can't knock that. I just think for the neutral,
oh yeah,
you know, who's turned up here tonight, that they probably,
this may be the only cricket they watch this game.
Yeah, and they'd probably like to, you know, a closer game.
They tried the Mexican wave, and some people aren't playing ball. That's what it sounds like.
Here's Green into Smith, who plays that into the onside. That's when you know the game's finished, when the Mexican wave starts up.
It's just a succession of singles here for Gloucestershire. They've got 13 balls to go, and they're probably going to end up about 70 short.
Smashed back past Green by David Payne. Crowd enjoying themselves still though. Lovely here at Bristol. Bristol under lights is very special, isn't it? The sun setting out over sort of Westbury area. Westbury on trim. Anyway, that's 18 overs gone. 147 for 9. Tom Smith's on 5. David Payne's on 6. But it's immaterial. Somerset won this game.
Davey in, and that's has Payne recovered? He has. It's fired down the leg side, and just, I don't know whether James has put a card over in the last couple of overs, but there's only one score in double figures below the top 3 for Gloucestershire, and that just tells the story of a good start, kind of a competitive enough start that kept them in the game, and then nothing to back it up. Davey in, and Payne's going to get one more. Takes him to 7. He's only ever made a higher score of 10 in this format, so it would be something for him to chuckle about if he could get there. There's the Mexican wave going round, at least with the enthusiasm of some. Davey to Tom Smith. Last pair together for Gloucestershire, and Smith will work that down to fine leg in front of the small scoreboard. I wonder what we would have felt if Gloucestershire had got this total batting first. It wouldn't have felt enough, Dan, I don't think.
No, I don't think it would. But I think they'd have probably got more, because I think, as we said, it was that imposing total that actually got into Gloucestershire heads, didn't it?
Davey running away from our commentary position, and David Payne tries to pull it away to deep mid-wicket. Doesn't get on anything on it, it will go as a bye, and 150 is up. A modicum of sympathetic applause, because Gloucestershire are going to be well short here. And they're all throwing the 4s and 6 cards in the air when the Mexican waves comes round. That's flicked away by Smith, down to long leg for 1. And it just feels as if Somerset are going through the motions here. They know that the game is theirs.
Yeah, there's a load of debris coming onto the pitch now. Crowd with the Mexican waves are throwing stuff
Last
up in
ball
the air.
of the penultimate over. Last ball of Davies' third. Well, that's gone high in the air from David Payne. It could be caught, and it is. And the game is over. Somerset have dismissed Gloucestershire. They're all out for 151. A good running catch off Davies' last delivery to give him his 3rd wicket. Bashir has 3, Van der Merwe has 3, and Somerset have won this game comfortably by exactly 80 runs. And in T20 format, that is a really, really big win.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it was all, the foundations for that were all set by that blistering knock from Will Smeed, aided and abetted by Tom Banton. Smeed 94 off just 35 balls. No one else really, Miles Hammond batted well, Ben Charlesworth batted well, but no one else even on the Somerset side timed it in the way that Smeed did. Banton 26 off 26, Conor Cadmore, he got 30 off 15, Abel 15 off 15, Dixon and Lewis Gregory came in at the end and gave it some Humpty, but really this game was all about Will Smeed.
Yeah, it was a one-man demolition job really of the Gloucestershire bowling, He got them to 122 for the first wicket in 10 overs when Smeed was out. And the fact that they only, I say only in relative terms, added 109 in the second 10 meant that they had more than enough in hand, despite a spirited start from Gloucestershire, particularly the stand between Charlesworth and Hammond. That added 75 for the second wicket when Charlesworth was out in the 10th over. He made 41, Hammond went on to get 61, but Jack Taylor's 11 after that was the top score. And the spinners, with every wicket going to a catch, including the caught and bowled that Davey took, a lot of them in the deep, meant that Bashir finished with 3 for 26, Van der Merwe 3 for 25, Davey 3 for 26, and Overton 1 for 34. Perhaps fitting that Smeed, having made 94, took the catch that won the game to get rid of David Payne at the end.
I thought, you know, Miles Hammond and Ben Charlesworth, they gave their side a little glimpse. It was the tiniest of glimpses, wasn't it? It was just a chink of the door being opened. But, you know, when there's that many runs on the scoreboard, it's just almost impossible, isn't it? So
here's a repeat of the winning catch.
Yeah, there you go.
Smeed coming in quite a long way from deep mid wicket, and again a good tumbling effort. There's the scene here in front of a full house tonight, more than 7,000 here, and Gloucestershire have to now go into a championship game starting on Sunday. We'll be with you for that against Leicestershire. Dan and I, thanks to James Healy again for his work on the cameras, and they've got to resume the T20 with a lot to do to get into the quarter-finals. Enjoy your Saturday, the rest of your Friday, and we'll see you here at 11:15 on Sunday for the red ball game against Leicestershire in the second division of the championship. From Dan Whiting and me, Ian Randall, goodbye.